subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Synopsis. After traveling to become the male second in Hunter's world, Chia expressed that he was not in a hurry. As a time traveler who doesn't have a golden finger to support the scene, as long as I have enough time, I can stand on the top. Chapter 1: The Killer, the 500th one. The mission is completed. In the dark building, a thin figure stood in front of a corpse, whispering indifferently. His blue eyes shone with a faint light in the dark night, which was extremely conspicuous. Beep, beep, beep. Suddenly, a shocking sound came from the figure. The small figure took out a strangely shaped mobile phone from his pocket, glanced at it, and then pressed the connect button. "Hey, Dad, what's the matter?" Da-da-da. There was a sound of footsteps in the dark corridor. Kia put his hands in his pockets and walked slowly towards the end of the corridor. Not far away, there's a tall figure at this time. This figure is leaning against the wall of the corridor with arms folded and eyes closed, as if waiting for Kia. Long black hair, delicate facial features on a fair face, exuding a cold and seductive aura. This person is none other than Kia's eldest brother, Ilmi Zoldyck, the eldest son of this generation of the Zoldyck family. Sure enough, when Kia came to him and was about to pass by him, Ilmi opened her indifferent, colorless eyes and indifferent mouth, and she was very dissatisfied with Kia's behavior and words. "Kia, I heard that you dismissed the mission given to you by your father and accepted the assassination mission of a gangster boss." "Yeah," Kia nodded, and then continued to walk forward as if she wasn't going to talk to him. "Kia, you're still so naive. Every time you accept a mission, you only accept this kind of mission. The Zoldyck family's assassination mission does not distinguish between good and evil." Looking at Kia's leaving back, Ilmi said calmly, "As long as one day you're a member of the Zoldyck family, one day you're a killer, and that never changes the fact that your hands are stained with blood. You don't care about me." Kia rolled her eyes when she heard this. After finishing speaking, Kia continued to walk forward. Behind him, Ilmi frowned slightly, and there were little waves in his empty eyes. Kia is not from this world. It's not right to say that Kia is indeed a person from this world, but Kia has the memory of the previous life. Kia is a time traveler and a reborn person who transmigrated into the newly born Kia Zoldyck and became a member of the Zoldyck family, the next head of the Zoldyck family. In this world, which Kia is very familiar with, is an anime world he had seen in his previous life, named Hunter x Hunter. The Zoldyck family is a family of killers that has been passed down for thousands of years. Kia has become a member of the Zoldyck family and is also the next head of the family. Naturally, he has been trained by the Zoldyck family as a killer since he was a child. Since the age of 2, Kia has been trained by the Zoldyck family. He has been receiving initiation of electric current since he was born. It is the initiation that begins to accept high-voltage current. From the age of 5, Kia began to accept tasks and go out to perform tasks. It has been 3 years now. Kia is 8 years old. Although, as a killer, Kia has always picked those mission targets with blood on their hands and crimes all over their bodies, and has never shot at innocent people. The education received in the previous life is deeply rooted in Kia's heart. Although he was influenced by the Zoldyck family after rebirth, Kia's character is still gentle. Kia can attack those sinful people with blood on their hands, but he will never. Don't allow yourself to do anything to those innocent people because of the assassination mission. Most of the people on the Zoldyck family list are heinous people, but there are also some who are not, but are wanted by their opponents for various reasons and are on the list. Even most of the people who are on the Zoldyck family list are some great good people. Just because they're in the way of others, they're hated by others, so they are on the Zoldyck list. Kia will not touch this kind of people because this is Kia's bottom line. This is also the reason why L fans will be dissatisfied with Kia. However, if you are dissatisfied, please be dissatisfied. It is none of my business if you're dissatisfied. Silently complaining, Kia came to the end of the corridor. After entering the password, the metal door slowly went up, revealing the dark room inside. Kia stepped in and walked towards the only luminous point. It was a cloud bed, behind which there was a faint blue light shining, and a tall man was sitting on it. This man was none other than the father of Kia in this life, the head of the Zoldyck family, Silva Zoldyck. Silva Zoldyk's expression was very calm, but it gave off a sense of majesty without anger. Perhaps an ordinary person standing in front of Silva would be intimidated by the majesty of Silva. However, Kia didn't feel it all. Facing Silva, his expression was very calm. In this aspect, the two are unexpectedly similar, and they both look indifferent. "I'm back, Kia." Looking at Kia, Silva Zoldyck greeted lightly. "Well, I'm back, Dad," Kia replied with a nod. Then he pulled a chair from his side and sat on it. "Mission completed?" Silva nodded and asked. "It's perfectly done. The boss of the Lubon family has been killed by me," Kia replied with a nod. "Have you alerted his men?" Silva continued to ask. "Not all. Maybe they still don't know that their boss has gone to hell," Kia said flatly. "That's right, that's good." Silva nodded. Afterwards, he watched Kia's face change slightly and sighed with emotion. "You have done every task perfectly. It would be great if you could abandon your naive thoughts." Hearing this, Kia fell silent. Silva also knew Kia's attitude and didn't bother about it too much. Next, Kia and Silva started their daily chat. After the two chatted for half an hour, Kia got up and left here. "It's fine if you don't have that naive idea, Kia." Looking at the closed door again, Silva Zoldyck sighed again. Chapter 2 Cheat Activation. After leaving the room where Silva was, Kia walked in another direction. Soon, Kia came to a room. This is a very spacious, empty room. It is the place where Kia practiced. Since awakening none more than a year ago, Kia asked Silva for such a practice room to practice her nun. That's right. Although he is only 8 years old, as a time traveler, Kia naturally cannot be ignorant of the existence of Nun like Kia in the original book. He didn't know the existence of Nun until he went to the Sky Arena after participating in the Hunter experiment at the age of 12. As a time traveler, Kia understands the nature of this world after knowing that she is reborn as Kia, the world of Hunter x Hunter. Therefore, after Kia was 6 years old, he began to practice Nun alone. And it is not awakening through the stimulation of other people's thoughts, as in the original work, but a step-by-step practice. Cultivate according to the Nun cultivation method that I knew in my previous life. After more than 3 months of practice, Kia has naturally cultivated Nun. The fact that Kia cultivated Nun without anyone's guidance also caused quite a commotion in the Zoldyck family, but only surprised Silva and others a little, not to the point of shock. After all, in this world, there are many people who suddenly awaken the ability of Nun. In the original book, Mai is one of them. He suddenly awakened when he played army chess with Maruam, the Chimera Ant King. In the training room, Kia sat cross-legged, clasped his hands together, and a faint aura emanated from his body surface, constantly wandering around. This is the specialty of this world Nun. Wrapped around Kia's body is the Nun key unique to the Nun. At this time, Kia is entanglement in the 4 major elements of Nun, practicing her Nun strength. At a certain moment, the Nyen key on Kia's body suddenly became violent, and then there was a creaking sound. The Nyen key on Kia's body changed dramatically at this moment, from wrapping to hair, and Nyen key turned into a blue electric arc, radiating from Kia's body to the outside world. The blue arcs are like pythons waiting for an opportunity, constantly wreaking havoc. The entire training room turned blue at this moment. The next moment, Kia suddenly opened his eyes. The blue electric arc shrank into Kia's body at this moment. Kia's whole body was shrouded in blue light. Electric snakes sprang out from time to time, and the silver hair stood upside down like lightning. With a slight movement of his eyes, Kia's body instantly disappeared in place. At this moment, the entire training room was covered with blue arcs, and Kia's figure kept appearing and disappearing at such a high speed, leaving after images in the training room. In just 1 minute, the entire practice room was filled with Kia's figure. This situation lasted for more than half an hour. It took half an hour for this to disappear. Kia reappeared at the place where she was meditating before. At this time, Kia has changed back to its original appearance, and the lightning all over his body has also disappeared. Standing where he was, Kia panted slightly. Sure enough, is this my shortcoming? After panting slightly, he looked at his hands, and there was no electric arc in them. Kia muttered silently. Kia just said that the ability used is nothing else. It is the super speed used by Kia in the original book. Flash relying on the memories of her previous life, Kia spent a month cultivating the applied skills. This is a very powerful nun technique that can be very powerful when done well. However, the disadvantage is that it consumes a lot of power. At this point, even the current Kia is still the same. Although Kia has tried his best to cultivate his own weakness, but the benefits obtained are not great. It just extended from the first 10 minutes to the current half hour. Moreover, it is a very big flaw that the power must be replenished after each use. Once the power is exhausted when fighting against people, it will be very passive and the combat power will drop sharply. It seems that there is no way to change it through self-cultivation. We need to use external force to eliminate this weakness. However, what should we do? Sighing slightly, Kia thought silently. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing 500 assassination missions. The enhancer system is officially activated. Congratulations to the host for activating the enhancer system and getting a gift package for beginners. Just as Kia was thinking, an ethereal voice sounded in Kia's mind. Kia was startled, and his expression was full of surprise. Goldfinger, the standard equipment for traversers. Just like the cheats from time-traveling novels that I read in my previous life, the cheats that Kia obtained through time travel are also a system called reinforcement. 8 years have passed before your golden finger appeared. System, is your internet speed dropping frames? Secretly complaining, Kia didn't make a fuss and began to check her belated golden finger. System, let me introduce you. Kia spoke to the system in his mind. The next moment, a message emerged from Kia's mind, and Kia's pupil shrank slightly and began to receive this message. After more than a minute, Kia completely received all the information transmitted by the system. However, the corners of Kia's mouth twitched slightly after receiving the information. At this time, in Kia's mind, there is an attribute panel waiting quietly. As for why the corners of Kia's mouth twitched, it was because the attribute panel established by his own system was too simple. Name, Kia's Zoldyck ability. Conjure Nun Super Speed Disability, 1000 note. The number of reinforcement points required for the next reinforcement is in brackets reinforcement points. 0 items. Aluminum Alloy Yo-Yo. Novice Gift Pack. Such a large attribute panel. Just a few lines. Shaking his head speechlessly, Kia accepted the reality. Enhancer system. The main ability lies in the strengthening point. As long as there are reinforcement points, enough quantity, and enough brains, Kia can strengthen anything. Kia can use reinforcement points to strengthen an ordinary wooden stick into a magical blade, and can also use reinforcement points to strengthen her own strength, and even make up for her own lack of ability. Just like the nun on Kia, as long as there are enough reinforcement points, Kia's speed can be strengthened, and even use the reinforcement points to make up for the lack of ability. The shortcoming of Kia's super speed can be made up for by strengthening points. As long as there are enough strengthening points, Kia's super speed can become flawless, and there will be no shortage of power. Chapter 3 Novice Gift Pack, however. These are all based on sufficient strengthening points. The current Kia doesn't have any strengthening points in her body. The only thing there is the novice spree lying quietly in the system space. System, open the novice gift bag. Looking at the glowing gift bag lying in the system space, Kia opened it without hesitation. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening the novice gift package. You'll get a random chance to awaken the nun system once, strengthen your ability once, and get 500 enhancement points. Hearing the system's prompt, Kia frowned slightly. However, soon, Kia's brows relaxed, because Kia understood the functions of these 3 items in the novice gift pack. The first one is the opportunity to awaken the nun system. Nun is divided into 6 systems. In addition to Kia's conjure system, there are 5 more, namely the trait system, enhancer, emitter, manipulator, and transmuter. Everyone has a main system, like Kia, just conjurer. Of course, there are occasional variations. In the original book, when Kurapika opened the red eye, all 6 series were fully opened. This is variation. The Nun system awakening opportunity allows Kiya to add a Nun system. After using the system awakening, Kiya can get systems other than Conjurer. And the second type, ability strengthening, as the name suggests, is to strengthen the ability of the ability person. The use of ability enhancement will make the Nun power of the Nun stronger, but Kiya doesn't know how much it can be strengthened. However, there's a certain degree of high probability. As for the final strengthening point, this is very easy to understand. Strengthening points, the number of points used for strengthening. System, use the random Nun system awakening opportunity. Without hesitation, Kiya directly used the Nun system's awakening opportunity. Ding! Use the Nun awakening opportunity. Congratulations to the host's awakening trait Nun space. As soon as the system's voice fell, Kiya's mind energy changed suddenly. And in the mind energy, a characteristic different from Conjurer quietly appeared. Kiya knew what it was, a trait unique to the traits Nun. The Nun of each system has different characteristics, and because of this, different abilities will be developed. However, this characteristic has a lot of room for development. Carefully perceiving the characteristics of Nyen Ki in the body, Kiya thought silently. Immediately afterwards, Kiya's attention was once again placed on strengthening abilities. System, use the ability enhancement on super speed. Kiya said silently in his mind. The shortcoming of super speed, this point key, you can't escape at all. Now that there is a solution, Kiya doesn't need to think about it at all. Kiya doesn't want to run out of battery halfway when playing against others in the future. Then it will not only be embarrassing, but may also be fatal. Ding! Congratulations to the host for using ability enhancement, strengthening ability, super speed disabled. Congratulations host for obtaining super speed. Name, Kiya's Zoldyck abilities, Conjurer in speed, 1000, Trait in space, 5000, note. In brackets are the reinforcement points required for the next reinforcement. Strengthening points, 500 item. Aluminum alloy yo-yo, it was disabled before, but it has disappeared now. That is to say, the shortcoming of my lack of follow-up power has disappeared. Talking to himself, Kiya felt that the electric current in his body had begun to circulate, and he couldn't live without it. Interest. Solved. However, the next reinforcement of divine speed requires a lot of reinforcement points. Full 1,000, 500 is not enough, and the trait system is even more perverted. Sloppy. Kiya found that the number of points required for the next enhancement of the ability after using the ability enhancement has not changed at all, and it still only needs 1,000 points. This made Kiya feel that he was a bit sloppy, but there was nothing he could do about it. Because he only has 500 strengthening points now, he can't strengthen the super speed at all. Shaking his head slightly, Kiya is not someone who sticks to the horns, so he quickly sawed away. Get a feel for your body. The rapid improvement not only allowed Kiya to solve the problem of insufficient power, but also made Kiya's Nun much stronger. Now Kiya feels completely different from before. The quality is more refined, and Kiya feels that her strength has increased by at least 2 levels. But even so, it's still not enough. I need more, stronger strength, at least to reach Silva's level of strength. No, stronger. Only in this way can the family change that decision. Time passed slowly. 3 days later, in the large airport of the capital of the Republic of Bartosha, Kiya's figure appeared here. Kiya is going to place from here. Wetmeal Wetland, the lair of fraudsters, and the habitat of rare and exotic beasts. Strengthening points. Kiya got information on how to get strengthening points from a system. That is life. Killing a life can give Kiya access to reinforcement points. Depending on the life level of the life body killed, Kiya can obtain different numbers of reinforcement points. In addition, when you get some items that contain strange powers, you can also sacrifice them through the system to get strengthening points. Kiya doesn't know what special items are, but Kiya knows 2 ways to kill powerful life forms. The first is the Nun, and the second is the powerful monsters in various secret realms in this world. Of course, Kiya can also obtain strengthening points by killing ordinary people, but this method is obviously impossible. Although Kiya is a killer, It is impossible to be so unscrupulous. The only way is to kill naughty monsters and powerful monsters. However, the number of Nun people is very small, and Kia has no grievances with them. So Kia does not want to do anything to other Nun people unless it is absolutely necessary. Of course, there are exceptions for provoking Kia actively. For such Nun people, Kia doesn't mind turning them into his powerful resources. Kia's current idea is to deal with those rare and exotic beasts. In the world of Hunter x Hunter, there are not a few magic lands and secret lands. There are many rare and exotic beasts in them. Moreover, each of them has a huge vitality and a very strong strength. Except for none, Kia collects skills point of choice. When it comes to secret lands and magic lands, the first thing that comes to Kia's mind is the wetland. After all, it is a secret realm that has appeared in memory. Chapter 4 Wetmeal Wetland, my guest. I can only go here. I don't dare to go to the place in front. A taxi driver said to the back seat of a taxi parked more than 2,000 meters outside Shimile Wetland. Well, yes, let's go here. Kia, who was sitting on the back seat, nodded slightly, opened the car door, and walked out after paying. Looking at the handful of Kenyas in his hand, the driver had a smile on his face. Wetmeal Wetlands, this is a frightening place. Few taxi drivers are willing to come here, even at such a long distance. The reason why he took the risk to bring Kia here this time is because Kia paid too much, so he took the risk. Guest, if you want to return to the city from here, you can call me. The driver handed out a business card to Kia from the car window, said with a smile, and then quickly start the car and leave here quickly after a turn. On the way back, there was a happy smile on his face. Although the trip was dangerous, he also made a lot of money. The fee Kia gave was enough for him to run a rental for a month. As for why Kia came to this place as a child, that's not in his business. For the driver's business card, Kia was silent for a moment, reached out to take it, and then ignored him. He set his sights on the smoky Wetmeal Wetland. Sure, let me see how much help you monsters can provide me. Kia muttered to himself with a slight hook on the corner of his mouth. The next moment, Kia turned into a streak of shadows and disappeared towards the direction of Shimile Wetland. Even without using super speed, Kia's speed is still very fast, but in just over 2 minutes, Kia crossed a distance of more than 2,000 meters and entered the Wetmeal Wetland. Once entering the wetland, Kia's vision was severely affected. The dense fog around her made Kia unable to see beyond 5 meters. Kia's talent is very strong, although she is still young, but after more than a year of practice, Kia's current strength has reached the level of Kia in the Chimera Ant chapter in the original book, but after entering this place, he didn't dare to relax at all. Hunter x Hunter's world's magic and secret realms can be said to be extremely dangerous, and there are various crises in them. Even if you are confident enough in your own strength, you must not be careless in the demon and secret realms, and you must always be vigilant to prevent danger. Come suddenly. In the magical and secret realms, once you relax your vigilance, you are not far from death. This is what Kia found in an autobiography about the treasure hunters in the library of the Zoldyck family before coming here. In the autobiography of those treasure hunters, they all emphasize this point, emphasize the horror of the magic and secret realms, and warn future generations not to relax once they decide to enter these places. Of course, if you have the strength of the world's top 5 ninjas, then it's as if they didn't say anything. To reach that point, as long as you don't go to the Dark Continent to die, you could be said to be rampant in the secret realm of the human world. Sure enough, when Kia recalled the admonition in his mind about the autobiography of the treasure hunter that he had read before, the crisis had already arrived. Kia, who was running, felt the ground under his feet suddenly become soft. Kia was startled for a moment, and then jumped up without hesitation. Afterwards, Kia saw that the ground he stepped on before suddenly turned into 2 halves, and then closed together. Take a closer look. What kind of ground is this? It is clearly a piranha that hides extremely deeply. If it wasn't for Kia's vigilance all the time and his agility, he might have been captured. Looking at this huge piranha, Kia's eyes sparkled. Coincidentally, I came here this time to find you rare and exotic beasts. With a slight shake of the sleeve, a silver light flashed, and 2 yo-yos exuding silver brilliance appeared in Kia's hands. These are made of aluminum alloy, and they were made by Kia's big brother. Each of them weighs 50 kilograms. If an ordinary person is hit, he will definitely die on the spot. In midair, Kia's hands crossed each other, and the yo-yo turned into an afterimage and attacked. Laugh! Boom! With just one blow, the piranha that took Kia as its prey was wiped out by Kia. Its body exploded and blood splattered everywhere. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the piranha and gaining 23 enhancement points. Hearing the reminder sound in his mind, the corner of Kia's mouth twitched slightly. Does one have more than 20 points? Not bad. After reaching out and flicking the disgusting blood off the yo-yo, Kia took the yo-yo back and then dropped it to the ground. However, just when Kia landed toward the ground, where Kia landed, the ground cracked again, and then a scalp full of dense fangs opened, and it bit Kia. Kia's eyes widened immediately. Nima, you really can't be careless for a moment. With a slight movement of his hands, Kia was ready to throw the yo-yo again to destroy the big mouth. However, at this moment, a black shadow shot towards Kia from the big mouth. The speed was so fast that even Kia's eyes couldn't keep up, let alone avoid the black shadow. Kia only had time to cover her chest with her hands. The next moment, a terrifying force landed in Kia's hands. Kia only felt a powerful force coming, and the whole person flew upside down toward the sky. And the big mouth under Kia also suddenly broke off the ground, and a big mouth with only limbs and no body leaped up high, with a black shadow biting towards Kia. With a muffled sound, Kia's entire body was directly swallowed by the big mouth. After swallowing Kia, the giant mouth licked the big mouth, but the faceless situation made it easy to distinguish the meaning of satisfaction at this time. Afterwards, the giant mouth landed downward, ready to hide again, waiting for the arrival of the next prey. However, before it landed on the ground, a muffled sound came from its body. The giant mouth couldn't help but struggled in pain. The next moment, a blue voice tore apart the body of the giant mouth and rushed out from its back. The raging thunder snake enveloped its broken body, tearing it to pieces in an instant. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the symbiotic giant frog and gaining 29 enhancement points. You can't be careless at all. Landing on the ground, Kia looked at the disgusting mucus on her body, and the corner of her mouth twitched slightly. Chapter 5. The Speed of Thunder. You really can't be careless for a moment. Just a little slack. Kia was treated like this. Those treasure hunters' warnings are true. If a person who has not learned to read comes here, it is estimated that there will be more or less bad luck. At this moment, Kia's eyes narrowed slightly, and then the yo-yo ball in his left hand shot out instantly. Only a sharp scream came from Kia's left side, and a black shadow fell from midair. Retracting the yo-yo, Kia looked away. A hideous little monster with a black body and a mouth full of fangs was lying there silently. There's a huge gap in its chest. That's where Kia's yo-yo hits. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the symbiotic frog and gaining 19 enhancement points. It's not the same as the monster just now. So, is it a symbiotic relationship? It's really interesting. Looking at the hideous little monster on the ground, Kia thought carefully for a while, then laughed. Shaking his head slightly, Kia reached out and pulled the attribute panel out of the void. This time I came to the Wet Mile wetland to destroy these rare and exotic beasts to obtain strengthening points. Sure enough, there was a change in the column of strengthening points from the original 500 to 571. The death of the two exotic beasts just now allowed Kia to gain 71 strengthening points. This made Kia not only a little surprised, but even after hearing the prompt, Kia would be even more excited to see the increase in her reinforcement points. It's just two magical beasts, and they have obtained so many enhancement points. If there are more than a dozen or 20 more, I can gather enough enhancement points for the next enhancement of the speed. Strengthened once before, so that the speed of the speed has no defects, and the strength has become stronger by about 2 layers. I don't know what kind of changes the speed of the speed will bring to me if I continue to strengthen it. Thinking of this, Kia looked at the wetland shrouded in thick fog, and the eyes in his eyes became much hotter. This place is simply my own paradise. I should have come to this place a long time ago. The monsters here are raging. I don't know how many monsters there are. If all of these were killed, how many enhancement points would he be able to obtain? Now, Kia can't wait for these monsters to attack him again. Stepping forward with both feet, Kia turned into an afterimage and galloped again. This time, Kia did not guard against it, but took the initiative to look for the traces of monsters and hunt. All of a sudden, the surrounding area of the wetland became noisy. The magical beast that was found by Kia and attacked Kia was ruthlessly killed by Kia's powerful strength. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing and getting 30 enhancement points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing and getting 32 enhancement points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing and getting 24 enhancement points. A series of reminders kept ringing in Kia's mind, and this sound made Kia absolutely wonderful. After more than an hour of hunting, Kia finally gathered enough reinforcement points for the second reinforcement of the speed. Name: Kia's Zoldyck abilities: Conjuring in Speed, 1000. Traitin in Space, 5000. Note: in brackets are the reinforcement points required for the next reinforcement. Strengthening points, 1056 item. Aluminum alloy yo-yo. Looking at the number of strengthening points in the attribute panel, a smile slowly appeared on Kia's face. It's not easy. Killing more than 30 monsters is finally enough. Kia can't wait to use this hard-won spoils. System: strengthen the speed. Without hesitation, Kia ordered directly to the system. Ding! Use 1000 enhancement points to strengthen the speed. Congratulations to the host for getting the speed thunder. The system's prompt sounded again in Kia's mind. As soon as the words fell, Kia felt an incredible change in her body. The first is Kia's Nyan Ki. If the Nyan Ki in Kia's body before was about the size of a small lake, then although the Nyan Ki in Kia's body has not directly become Wangyanda High, at least it is a large lake. The second is the electricity in Kia's body. The moment the system's voice fell, Kia felt that the originally very gentle electricity in his body suddenly became violent, full of powerful aggressiveness and destructiveness. Kia found that the electricity in his body at this moment. Electricity is transformed into thunder and lightning in nature. Name: Kia's Zoldyck abilities: Conjurer None Speed Thunder, 5000. Traitin in Space, 5000. Note: in brackets are the reinforcement points required for the next reinforcement. Strengthening points, 56 item. Aluminum alloy yo-yo. Looking at the changes in the property panel, Kia was lost in thought. Squeak! A ray of blue lightning emerged from Kia's hands, and the color it emitted was more brilliant and dazzling than the previous electricity. Although the color displayed by Kia before using electricity is also blue, but it is lighter, just light blue. But now, after Kia used the lightning in his body, its color became very dark, directly turning into a faint blue. Swish! Boom! Kia threw the lightning out with a convenient throw. The next moment, a giant tree not far in front of Kia was directly blown to pieces in Kia's eyes, and his body was smashed to pieces. Kia's pupils shrank suddenly. This kind of power, it's just a wisp, but it has such power. Looking at his empty palm, Kia couldn't calm down for a long time. Have you strengthened your power? This kind of destructive power is more than 5 times that of mine before. It is worthy of lightning, and it cannot be compared with electricity. In other words, my attack power has also been compensated. The basis of Kia's speed development is electricity and current. The reason why it is electricity and current is because of Kia's physique obtained from electric shocks since childhood. Compared with moves, Kia's super speed only has an advantage in speed, but its destructive power is not strong. Kia has always regarded super speed as an auxiliary ability, and speed is power. Kia has also been thinking about how to improve the power of her nun. Unexpectedly, this strengthening will directly relieve Kia's troubles. Transforming from electricity to lightning, its power is terrifying. It's just a wisp, and it has this kind of destructive power. I don't know what kind of destructive power it will have if it is shot with all its strength. I really want to try it. Chapter 6 Deep in Wetmeal Wetland, however, Kia looked at the attribute panel. Has the number of points required for the next strengthening of the supernatural speed become the same as the space ability of the special type? However, it also shows that this trait in my body is none's strength and specialness. Supernatural speed is the result of my practice for more than a year, and it has been strengthened twice, but it can barely catch up with the space ability of the trait system that has not been strengthened. I don't know what kind of wonderful ability I can develop with this spatial ability. I'm looking forward to it a little bit. After leaving here this time, I will start to practice the spatial ability of this special trait. However, before that, let's wreak havoc here. If you want to strengthen these abilities, you need a lot of strengthening points. Muttering in a low voice, Kia looked out of the thick fog. The next moment, Kia's body turned into an afterimage, instantly submerged in the thick fog. It seems that the killing was a bit fierce just now. Running in the thick fog, the corners of Kia's mouth twitched, and his expression was slightly speechless. Acting again, Kia was originally planning to see if he could get some more strengthening points while it was still dark. However, Kia had visited the outside of the Wet Mile wetland several times, and Kia didn't find another monster in a daze. Kia didn't believe it. There were only a few monsters around the wetland. Although it is a monster, it also knows how to seek good luck and avoid bad luck. Kia shook his head and said with some emotion, "The monsters in the Wet Mile wetland are very good at dodging and hiding. If they didn't take the initiative to show up, even Kia would find it very difficult to find their tracks. Just like when Kia came in and met before. The reason why the strengthening points needed for one strengthening were so smoothly collected just now is because these monsters showed up actively when Kia was looking for them, so Kia was able to destroy them. However, now, after witnessing Kia kill chickens and dogs without any damage, these monsters have also learned to behave. Knowing that Kia is not something they can provoke, they hide one by one. Avoid it for fear. Should we just leave like this? Leaning against a tree, Kia looked at the front where he couldn't see his fingers and thought carefully. This time, Kia came here because he wanted to use the existence of monsters here to gain strengthening points. However, now it seems that this situation can be said to be a death before the success of the teacher. Just got more than 500, and things developed in a direction that Kia didn't expect. As long as Kia continues to stay here, the monsters outside the wetland probably won't show up anymore. In other words, Kia's purpose of continuing to stay here is gone, and continuing to stay here is just a waste of time. However, if Kia were to leave like this, Kia would not be reconciled. Raising his eyes slightly, Kia looked through the thick fog to the direction deep in the wetland, or go into the depths of the Wet Meal wetland. The monsters in the depths of the wetland are definitely stronger than the ones outside. By killing the monsters there, I can get a lot of reinforcement points. Kia thought silently while looking in the direction of the depths of the wetland. If the outskirts of a Shy Mile wetland are dangerous, it is not a real forbidden area. Ordinary people with some martial arts skills are here. As long as they act cautiously, there is still a possibility of survival, although the chance is very small. Not even 10%. Don't look at how many people survived the hunter experiment in the original book. That's because the other people who came into the wetland with them and participated in the trial died instead of them. Because of the existence of other contestants, the eyes of the monsters in Shamil wetland were attracted, and the remaining contestants survived by luck. As for the Nun people who have practiced Nun entering here, although they're not 100% sure, they have at least an 80% chance of surviving. Not to mention the ones like Hisoka. Places like the outskirts of the Wet Meal wetland are just an amusement park for perverts like Hisoka to come and go at will. The depth of the Wet Meal wetland is completely different from the periphery, completely two worlds. The depths of the Wet Meal wetland is an extremely dangerous place. Even for nun masters like Hisoka and Ilmi, it is very dangerous to enter it. It will threaten your life, and you cannot guarantee your own safety. The depth of the Wet Meal wetland is very dangerous. Up to now, human beings have not fully determined the degree of danger. It is a forbidden area and a development area. Some unknown Nin masters often enter it for adventure and development. Developing forbidden areas is the job of treasure hunter. Many treasures hunter is keen to develop various secret realms in the human continent, and then makes a biography of what he has seen and heard in the development of secret realms, spreads it out, and gives guidance to latecomers. In other secret realms, Most treasure hunters have harvested them, only in the depths of the wetmeal wetland. In this place, many treasure hunters have fallen here. Therefore, the outside world's understanding of Shamil wetland is only a few words, and there is very little useful information. In the biography of many treasure hunters that Kia saw from the family's collection of books, there are very few descriptions of the depths of the wetlands in Shamil, and most of them are just warnings, so as not to lose their lives. Kia's current strength is not even comparable to Hisoka and Yirmi. It is too early for Kia to enter here. Therefore, Kia was very entangled with the idea that came to him suddenly. Do you want to go in or not? On the one hand, I worry about my own safety. On the other hand, the unknown is always easy to attract. Kia is very concerned about the situation deep in the wetland. Leaning under the big tree, Kia thought about it for half an hour and struggled for half an hour. In the end, Kia still made a decision. Into the depths of wetmeal wetlands. Regarding the situation inside, Kia is very clear about the danger. However, Kia has confidence in her nun. Once something goes wrong, Kia will use divine speed to leave immediately. Kia has never been a person who likes to procrastinate. When she had a certain idea, Kia immediately started to take action, rushing towards the depth of Shamil wetland. On the other side, in the depths of the wetmeal wetland, somewhere in the depths of the wetmeal wetland, there was a young girl running away in a very embarrassing figure. Behind him, in the dense fog, a huge figure followed closely behind. Young girls are in danger all the time, and if they are not careful, they will die here. However, even so, the young girl still did not drop the huge egg in her hand, holding it tightly and not letting go. I won't give it back to you, just give up. The young girl shouted confidently while running. Behemoth behind. Chapter 7. The lair of the fraudster. Shrill shrieks resounded continuously in the thick fog, and the young girl ran away with no image, holding a laughing egg with a human head tightly in her hand. I will never return this egg to you. This girl will rescue it from your clutches. While fleeing, the young girl screamed without forgetting righteous words. The huge monster behind. Nima, this is the first time I have encountered this situation. This human being is too shameless. She stole my air while I was out, and she said such shameless words when I found out. And she has such a thick skin at a young age. How did she become so thick-skinned? The gigantic monster attacked uninterruptedly, wanting to tear the little thing in front of it into pieces, but at the same time, it was very speechless in its head. The screams still resounded. On the other hand, Kia, who entered the depths of the wetmeal wetland, was extremely cautious, always alert to the surrounding situation, and tried his best to hide his breath when he acted. It's so quiet. Walking cautiously in the dense fog, Kia thought silently. Since entering here, Kia hasn't heard any movement, not even the slightest sign of trouble. If it wasn't for the thick fog drifting slowly, Kia would have thought that time here had stopped. Click! At this moment, Kia suddenly felt that his foot stepped on something, followed by a clear, cracking sound. This sound was unusually obvious in the silent space. Kia's pupils shrank suddenly. Without hesitation, he activated Nun, jumped up, and jumped out towards the back. Sure enough, the next moment, a black shadow appeared in the place where Kia was just now. After the black shadow jumped into the air, it didn't stop, but rushed towards Kia at an extremely fast speed. Just listening to the sound of, Kia saw a figure appearing in front of him. At such a close distance, Kia could see the appearance of this black shadow. Huge head, petite body, slender limbs covered with green scales, green hair, blood-red eyes, a big cracked mouth on the face, densely covered with several layers of fangs, shaped it was extremely hideous, like a demon. This figure attacked Kia at an incredible speed. The sharp claws radiated a cold light and grabbed Kia from top to bottom. Kia has no doubt that once caught by this claw, even if he is in key defense, he will have to shed a layer of skin. After all, Kia's nun nature is conjurer, not enhancer, and the defense is not strong. Thunder flashed, and Kia instantly entered a state of super speed. With a slight movement of the body, Kia disappeared in place. When it reappeared, it was already behind the shadow. Thunder. The brilliant thunder and lightning bloomed in Kia's hands, causing the surrounding dense fog to dissipate. Kia raised one hand high and struck down with a cold expression directly on the black shadow. Boom! Zizi. Crackling. The unique sound of thunder and lightning was transmitted in the depths of the silent Shamil wetland. A sharp and piercing sound also came out from the mouth of this ferocious monster. After being hit by you alone, the intense pain hit. The monster was so stiff that it couldn't even struggle. It could only scream in pain. In less than 5 seconds, the screams of the monsters completely disappeared. Instead, it was a completely charred corpse, and black smoke slowly rose repeatedly. In fact, even if Kia does not enter the super speed state, Kia can still solve this monster. However, Kia did not do this, because without using super speed, Kia would have to waste some time if he wanted to deal with the enemy in front of him. In the depths of the Wet Mile wetland, this extremely dangerous place, once you encounter an enemy with sufficient capabilities, you must kill them in time, and you must not delay time. Because once you procrastinate for time and fight a protracted war with the monsters attacking you, in the eyes of the monsters, it means that your strength is not strong. Then, other hidden monsters don't mind share of the pie. They will swarm you up, attack together, tear you into pieces, and then share and eat you. Of course, if the ability is insufficient, then run as far as you can, run as fast as you can, and get rid of the enemy as soon as possible, or you will die. Looking at the monster that had been completely charred, Kia frowned slightly indifferently, and then lightning bloomed in his hand, forming a sharp lightning spear. Kia swung it violently and directly inserted into the heart of the scorched monster. Puff! The warcraft was directly nailed to the ground. At the moment when the lightning spear pierced through the scorched body of the monster, the scorched body of the monster that should have been dead trembled suddenly and struggled. Within 2 seconds, the monster was completely silent. Looking at this scene, Kia thought inwardly, the lair of fraudsters don't lie to me. If I didn't have a system, I might have been deceived by you. After electrifying the monster into a scorched body, Kia didn't hear the system's kill prompt. This let Kia know that the monster in front of him is not dead, but is playing dead cunningly in his current situation. So Kia did a make-up attack without hesitation, directly killing its life. And after making up the knife, the system's prompt sounded in Kia's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the wet melee Kappa and gaining 80 enhancement points. Hearing the system's prompt, Kia also confirmed that the monster was indeed dead. Immediately, Kia was astonished by what this magical beast brought to him. A monster has 80 strengthening points, which is completely incomparable with the previous gains in the wetlands outside the wetland. It has tripled in full. Although this gap is not a huge difference, it is also very large. It seems that I am right to venture here this time. Although there's a great risk, I can get more. Kia muttered to himself. Looking around at the immature little face also raised a bright smile. Hey, I'm not going to be polite to you guys who need to be strengthened. After finishing speaking, Kia turned into an afterimage and disappeared in place. Chapter 8 Harvest and Retreat Squeak. Boom! There was a crisp chirping sound, followed by the roar of heavy objects falling to the ground. Kia panted slightly, dispelled the thunder and lightning in her hands, looked at the scorched body on the ground, and her mind moved slightly. 2302. As expected of the depths of the wet meal wetland, it is completely different from the outside, and the horror of the hidden crisis is a bit overwhelming for me. Calming her breath, Kia thought with a little emotion. It has been more than half an hour since the beginning. During this half an hour, Kia encountered dozens of monsters without stopping at all. Even before, 5 powerful monsters joined forces to attack. If Kia hadn't strengthened his super speed Nen twice before coming in, Kia would have been killed here. However, if it is so, at this time Kia's body has no thought energy left. Although I really want to continue working and collect the strengthening points needed for the next strengthening as soon as possible, but my current situation is not very good. I must find a place to rest. Looking at the scorched body on the ground, Kia is silently thinking. At this time, Kia already had the idea of retreating. Although the problem of power consumption has been solved, and it has been transformed into lightning, and it can also actively restore lightning. this recovery also takes time. Kia's current situation is a bit beyond her means, and the lightning in her body is consumed much slower than the recovery speed. What's more, there are many monsters around. This situation is definitely not good for Kia. It must be withdrawn, otherwise it is very likely to stay here. Kia decided to withdraw from the depths of the wet meal wetland, go to the periphery to rest, and then come in again. After making a decision, Kia quickly ran towards the outskirts of the wetland. Kia's worry was right. As Kia started to hurry, many monsters who were staring at him secretly followed up, looking for an opportunity to attack Kia. This point, Kia also noticed the monsters in the depths of the wet meal wetland have a very strong ability to hide. If they didn't act, it would be difficult for Kia to feel it with his current ability. However, once they act, then sorry. Kia Zoldyck, as the descendant of the killer family, is best at anti-tracking. In just a short moment, Kia noticed the number of monsters lurking and following up. However, after sensing the number of monsters, Kia's complexion sank slightly. 18, and the aura of 5 monsters is very similar to the aura of the one I killed just now. The strength is not much different. This is not good news. We must rush to the periphery as soon as possible. Hope these guys have concerns. Otherwise, a fierce battle is inevitable. With a slightly gloomy face, Kia thought silently. Immediately afterwards, he accelerated his speed again, galloping at the fastest speed outside of the state of divine speed. And as Kia accelerated, the monsters hiding around Kia also accelerated accordingly. The chasing after each other between the two sides and the behavior of the monsters revealed a message. That is, they are eyeing Kia and will not let Kia leave. Kia also noticed this situation, and his face became even more gloomy. Squeak! The speed of lightning. The crisp tweet sounded again, and Kia instantly entered a state of super speed, surrounded by lightning. Just because I'm retreating strategically doesn't mean I'm afraid of you guys. Since you guys have this attitude, don't blame me. Kia cursed indifferently, and his body disappeared instantly. The next moment, a roar and scream unique to monsters came from the thick fog. Blue lightning rays bloomed, and blood shot out from the thick fog. In just a short moment, a monster following Kia was found by Kia and killed instantly. The scream of this monster made the surrounding monsters pause, as if they were shocked by Kia's behavior. One by one, they lurked again. The warcraft, which could still feel the breath, disappeared again at this moment. There was silence all around. Seeing this, Kia frowned slightly and her eyes turned cold. Don't give up. Are you lurking in secret? Sure enough, the minds of monsters and humans are not on the same channel. Originally, Kia used this thunder strike to kill a monster. He wanted to use this method to deter these monsters, and told them that he was not easy to mess with. If they really needed to lurk and chase him, then he would be prepared to be killed, in order to make these monsters retreat. However, although these demonic beasts were shocked by Kia's thunder strike just now, and temporarily hid themselves, they never left at all, and did not intend to let Kia go. Each of them had no intention of leaving at all, and was waiting for an opportunity to find Kia's weak point, so as to launch a thunderous strike. It doesn't work? It's really nerve-wracking. The current situation gave Kia a slight headache. If he was a human being, he would have already given up and left after being so shocked by him. After all, human beings cherish their lives. Seeing their companions being killed in one blow, human beings who cherish their lives will naturally have this kind of thought, because they couldn't guarantee that the thunder strike would land on them in the next moment, causing them to fall on the spot. However, these monsters have no such idea at all. Forget it, run away. Although he made a move, Kia's intention was to frighten these monsters and make them retreat, and he had no intention of going to war with them. After all, Kia's situation at this time is not very good. Once the war started, he could not gain the upper hand. However, just when Kia was about to run away at a high speed, Kia suddenly felt that the monsters surrounding him moved again. Moreover, instead of shooting at himself, he fled around. In the blink of an eye, it disappeared from Kia's perception. This kind of situation made Kia stunned for a while, with a look of bewilderment. What's going on? Chapter 9. Hold on tight and run away. Just when Kia wondered whether the group of monsters had lost their minds and went crazy, a scream came from a distance. Kia heard the words and looked over. At this look, Kia's pupils shrank immediately, and he swears. Grass! Immediately, Kia ran away desperately. Behind Kia, a girl with a green ponytail tied in cool clothes, a fishnet gauze upper body, hot pants lower body, exuding a strong, youthful, and girlish atmosphere, is holding an upper body that can match her body. The giant egg, in comparison, quickly fled towards Kia. Behind him, in the thick fog, a colossal figure was following closely behind him. His lantern-sized eyes gleamed through the thick fog, and a terrifying aura emanated from this figure. Someone. Although the fog was thick, the girl noticed Kia's existence. After all, Kia didn't hide her aura at all. This immediately made the girl excited. Like chicken blood, the speed increased suddenly, and he jumped out with a swish, pulling a considerable distance between himself and the behemoth behind him. Kia, who has been paying attention to the situation behind her, was stunned when she saw this scene. Kia had only seen this kind of situation in anime in her previous life, but she didn't expect such a thing to happen in reality. No. Strictly speaking, the world I am in now is the anime world of my previous life. It is understandable that there will be such unscientific things. Children. The girl also came to Kia's side after stimulating her own potential. After seeing Kia, the girl also shouted out in disbelief in a daze. I'm a child. I'm really sorry. Kia, who didn't have a good impression of the culprit at first, turned dark when he heard this sentence, and then said angrily, No. Although you are a child, you are definitely not an ordinary child. The girl with the green ponytail also came to her senses when she heard the words and reacted immediately. She is very clear about places like the depths of the Wetmeal wetland. Even if it is a professional hunter, the number of fallen is not small. Ordinary children, not to mention entering here, can't even enter the hurdle outside the wetland. But Kyo appeared here now, and judging from his current situation, although his clothes were a bit messy, he was not injured, and he was not an ordinary person at a glance. Although it looks like a child, its strength must be very strong. I've heard before that some powerful nun maintain the figure of a child because of certain special abilities. This one in front of me must be that kind of old monster. A ponytail girl with green hair appeared in her mind. An old woman in a gothic lowly outfit with 2 golden ponytails and a lowly shape thought silently. I always feel that you are thinking about something bad. Just when the girl was slandering, Kia felt unwell for no reason. You looked at her and said, I'm only 8 years old. Not that old monster. Damn, mind-reading skills. The girl who was slandering was shocked and yelled out. It's not mind-reading, but your expression is too obvious. Kia stared and also roared. Ahaha, really? The girl suddenly smiled awkwardly. There is no way. I was caught when I was slandering others. Rao is a girl who usually has a carefree personality, and it is also embarrassing to encounter this kind of situation. No. Now is not the time to talk about this, little guy. Run away. The next moment, the girl with ponytail suddenly remembered something and immediately shouted again. As if in response to her yelling, there was a huge vibration when she stretched out her hand, and a huge fluffy hand suddenly landed on the ground not far behind the 2 of them, directly shattering the ground. Stop screaming, it's too noisy. Kia covered her ears speechlessly, blocking the roar that could bring people back to life. Seeing this scene, the girl with ponytail stopped yelling and gritted her teeth, feeling embarrassed again. Seeing this, Kia also breathed a sigh of relief. This guy, if he continued to shout, he was not killed by the behemoth behind him, so he would be sent to heaven by the voice. Immediately, Kia looked at the ponytail girl beside her and asked, Hey, are you ready? Ready. The girl was taken aback when she heard the words, not understanding what Kia meant. The next moment, she saw Kia stretch out a hand and landed on her waist. A strong, itching sensation hit, and the girl blushed, ready to yell. She is holding a huge egg in both hands now, and there is no room for it. Otherwise, Kia's hand will do this. She will definitely pull out the kitchen knife on the back of her waist and give it to Kia immediately. The first time we met, I was not familiar with her at all. Kia just touched the waist of this young and beautiful girl. I don't know if women's waists can't be touched casually. She doesn't care if Kia is a child or not. However, before she cried out, she felt light all over. The next moment, she was directly hugged by Kia to the princess. This made her stunned, as if her head had been shocked by an electric shock. It was a mess. I was hugged by a little kid to a princess? Squeak! A series of clear chirps came, and the ponytail girl suddenly felt that she was surrounded by a powerful thought energy, and the power of thunder and lightning surrounded her and Kia. The girl exclaimed in surprise. Hold on tight. I'm going to run away, Kia said with a stern look, looking down at a girl. Speed. Flash. After muttering a sentence in a low voice, Kia entered the state of super speed when the ponytail girl was puzzled. In an instant, the two turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed out for more than 200 meters, pulling the huge monster behind them far away. The ponytail girl couldn't react at all, but saw that the surrounding vision passed so fast that she couldn't see clearly at all. So fast. Chapter 10, Cooperation. Phew, it's out. Relying on the lightning speed, Kia and the ponytail girl spent a lot of effort and finally got rid of the huge monster behind them and came to the outskirts of Shy Mile Wetland. When they arrived here, Kia did the same. Can't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Hi. The girl with ponytail who was being hugged by Princess Kia had a dark face at this moment, and a puff of black smoke came out of her mouth. At this time, the girl's tied ponytail had fallen apart, replaced by a huge hedgehog head with blue arcs flickering from time to time. Kia looked down and immediately let go of his hands. Boom! It hurts! With a muffled sound, the girl with ponytail fell to the ground and cried out. Kia let go so abruptly. The bewildered girl didn't react at all. Hers suffered directly and almost blossomed. Holding the giant egg in one hand and rubbing her own, but with the other, the ponytail girl looked at Kia with an unfriendly expression regardless of her image at the moment. I said, "Won't you remind me before you let go?" Regarding this, Kia didn't pay attention to it, but looked at her carefully, thinking about something. It seems that my super speed can't take people away. It's powerful and hard to control. This guy is none, and his strength is not bad. Otherwise, he would have been electrocuted long ago. Looking at the ponytail girl, Kia silently said thought. Kia's previous super speed, as long as it is well controlled, can lead people. Although it will make people feel paralyzed, it will not be harmful. However, even if Kia tried his best to control the enhanced speed, its powerful destructive power would still cause damage to people. This guy in front of him was Li Zi. Seeing this, the ponytail girl was so angry that her teeth itched. This guy made my old lady look like this, even through her, and now ignores my old lady's words. It's really irritating. However, for the sake of saving my mother this time, forget it. Seeing Kia ignoring his own words and looking at himself, Minchi's mind was on fire and wanted to vent, but thinking of Kia this time after saving himself, Minchi decided not to care about Kia. Soon she put this matter behind her, and then looked at the giant egg she was holding with sparkling eyes. Sakamo, cuz eggs, the world's top delicacies. I finally got it, The ponytail girl murmured to herself, and the words almost blew out. Sure enough, he is a foodie. He would risk his life just to eat. Kia said speechlessly. The guy in front of her, Kia guessed her identity the first time she saw her. Although this guy's hairstyle is a single ponytail, her clothes and grooming are too obvious. The transparent gauze made it easy to see the swimsuit-style bra on her body, a pair of shorts on her lower body, 2 kitchen knives pinned to the back of her waist, and green hair. All these characteristics let Kia recognize her identity at a glance. The chief examiner of the Hunter experiment in the original book, the 1-star gourmet Hunter Menchie. Although this guy attracted a powerful monster, it also gave Kia an opportunity to escape. So Kia took him with him and left there together. Compared with a dozen or so powerful monsters, Kia was more inclined to face one powerful monster. It's just a monster. If you can't beat it, you can run. But if you're targeted by more than a dozen powerful monsters, it will be very difficult to run. Even if Kia uses super speed to escape from the encirclement of monsters, it is estimated that there will be some twists and turns. Killing dozens of monsters in a row, Kia's nun consumed a lot. If he just escaped from one monster, it would be more than enough, but if it was surrounded by more than a dozen monsters, it would be a little dangerous. This time, there was some miscalculation. Nun consumed too much and almost couldn't get out. I can't make this kind of mistake again in the future. Biting her nails, Kia silently summed up her adventure this time. What do you know? I'm saving it. Minchi heard Kia's words, rolled his eyes, and then continued to look at the giant egg in his hand with glowing eyes, and continued. Saemo Ku is a monster. Although each fetus can give birth to many offspring, they will only raise one offspring, and after hatching, brothers and sisters will kill each other until the last one can survive. So, instead of making them cannibalize their own kind, it's better to make them a delicacy on my table before they are born with consciousness. In that case, this egg has to thank you. Kia, who was reflecting on the shortcomings of his actions this time, heard Minchi's shameless words. The corners of his mouth twitched, and he said in a mocking tone, "That's right." But Minchi didn't care about the sarcasm in Kia's words at all, and responded shamelessly. Kia, it's thanks to you that I was able to escape this time. Come on, come with me. I'll treat you to eat Saemoku's eggs. Standing up from the ground, Minchi turned around and said with a smile to Kia. After finishing speaking, he took a step forward and walked in a certain direction. Hearing this, Kia touched her belly slightly. Indeed, after exercising for so long, I feel a little hungry. Also, gourmet food made by Food Hunter is not to be missed. Accompanied by this kind of thought, Kia also stepped forward and followed. The periphery of Wetmeal Wetland, where the Hunter Association is resident. At this time, both Kia and Minchi are here. As expected of Saemoku's eggs, the peerless delicacy in the records, I have wanted to taste it for a long time, and today I finally got what I wanted. Holding a piece of steaming egg in his hand, Minchi's mouth puffed up while chewing, speaking indistinctly with a satisfied smile on his face. This kind of egg is indeed delicious, but it is worthy of being a gourmet hunter who can bring out its deliciousness perfectly. Kia was holding the other half of the egg at this time and praised without hesitation while eating. Saemoku's eggs are indeed very delicious, but Kia knows that the reason why they are so delicious is because of Minchi's cooking ability. This guy's cooking ability is very strong. Saemoku's eggs are cooked to perfection. As soon as Kia bit it down, he felt that every cell in his body was jumping for joy. It was a very special taste and feeling, which made Kia fall into a wonderful hallucination for a moment. If it weren't for Kia's innate spiritual power, it would really be possible to be drawn into that wonderful illusion. This guy, Minchi, if he was in a certain gourmet show that he had seen in his previous life, he would definitely be the king of medicine. Thank you for the compliment. But how do you know I'm a gourmet hunter? Minchi said with some pride when he heard that. But then she asked a strange question. She has never revealed her identity as a gourmet hunter. Guess. Kia was not surprised when he heard the words and said casually. Seeing this, Minchi knew that Kia didn't want to talk about it. And besides, it wasn't a big deal, so he didn't care. Then, she suddenly thought of something, looked at Kia, stared at Kia with a smile, and didn't speak. Why don't you eat your eggs and stare at me? Kia looked over with a little discomfort after being stared at for more than 10 seconds and asked, Little guy, Saemoku's eggs are delicious. Minchi said with a smile instead of answering. It's delicious. Hearing this, Kia responded strangely and looked at Minchi with strange eyes. It's not delicious. Why should I praise it? Then, do you want to eat something more delicious? Minchi's face brightened when he heard this. And then he said with a seductive attitude, Are you interested in my speed? Kia didn't answer immediately after hearing this, but was silent for a moment, then said, Bingo, that's right, little guy. Let's cooperate. There are a lot of delicious ingredients deep in the wetland. Let's go in together and empty out all the ingredients. Minchi snapped his fingers and then said excitedly, Okay, as long as you can bear my nun. Kia immediately agreed after hearing this. Minchi froze when he heard this, touched his hair, felt the numbness coming from the hair, and couldn't help but shrink back. This is indeed a problem. The power of this little guy's nun is really terrifying. I have tried my best to defend myself just now, but I didn't expect to be made like that. However, thinking that if he had the speed of Kiya, then he would be able to run amok in the wetland this time and get all kinds of dream food he wanted, Minchi's mind became firm. No problem, I can bear it. Minchi gritted his teeth and replied. Hearing this, Kiya looked slightly surprised, glanced at her, and then shook her head speechlessly. Sure enough, he is a foodie, and he can bear anything for food. However, this is also good for me. Not a loss-making business. As for why Kiya agreed so simply, it was naturally because this matter was beneficial to Kiya. Chapter 11 Abnormal. Then, let me introduce myself. I am Minchi, a professional hunter and a gourmet hunter. Minchi was a little surprised that Kiya agreed so easily, but she didn't bother too much and introduced herself directly. Kiya Zoldyck is a killer. Kiya also introduced himself. The Zoldyck's family, Minchi exclaimed when he heard this, and shouted out in disbelief. Oh, what? Are you afraid? Kiya nodded, and then said teasingly. Most people hear about the Zoldyck family with horror and fear. How is it possible? Minchi pouted and said. However, I didn't expect that I would meet the Zoldyck family, and it is a potential stock. The Zoldyck family really deserves to be the #1 killer family. On the contrary, Minchi felt emotional. Well, I'm special, Kiya said with a smile. Indeed, even the Zoldyck family is the first person in the Zoldyck family to be able to possess such strength at his age. None of the other clansmen of the past dynasties can possess such strength at this age. Well, that's all for the self-introduction. Let's rest here today. There are many rooms here. You can find one yourself, and we will start tomorrow. Minchi stretched and yawned. Immediately, she put her hands on her hips, walked out of the kitchen with enchanting steps, and twisted her waist. Seeing this, Kiya shook her head and left within a few minutes. As for why Kiya agreed to Minchi's request and formed a team with her to find the delicious food in Minchi's mouth. Ding! Congratulations to the host for absorbing special ingredients and gaining 120 strengthening points. That's why Kiya agreed to Minchi. After eating half of the eggs, a system prompt sounded in Kiya's mind, reminding Kiya that she had obtained 120 strengthening points. Half of it allowed Kiya to gain so many enhancement points, and a whole one was 240. There are so many strengthening points in one egg. This kind of gain is worth Kiya's desperate risk to start with the powerful monster before. If it is someone else, this behavior may be a very dangerous behavior. A death behavior, just like Minchi, who almost died in the hands of the giant Saimo, Ku. But for Kiya, who possesses super speed skills, this kind of behavior is not very dangerous. As long as she is not besieged by several powerful monsters like Samok, Kiya is sure to succeed in their hands and escape. Day of birth. Late at night, in a room selected by Kiya, Kiya is holding a carapace-shaped mobile phone and operating on the mobile phone. Kiya is browsing the dark net of this world at this time. The dark web is the only website comparable to the Hunter website. The Hunter website is considered innocent and sells information openly. As for the dark web, it is a place visited by gangsters and where many killers gather. The Zoldyck family also plays a very important role in the dark web. The assassination mission of the Zoldyck family was also received from the dark web. Kiya has been on this website since 2 years ago. There are no special tasks. After browsing for more than half an hour, they were all ordinary tasks. Kiya was also a little bored, so he was about to exit the dark web. However, at this moment, Kiya suddenly noticed a mission, not a mission, but an intelligence. The place where the Kuruda people live in seclusion. Speaking of which, during this period of time, it seems that the Kuruda people have not been exterminated by Phantom Troop, and the number of red eyes on the market is very rare. With the emergence of this information, it seems that the Kuruda people are not far from being wiped out. Krallo is very interested in the 7 beauties in the world. Would you like to join in the fun and meet these spiders for a while? Kiya thought silently. Although Kiya is not interested in Red Eye, she is still very interested in Phantom Troop. However, think about it or forget it. When Phantom Troop wiped out the Kuruda tribe, almost the entire brigade was dispatched together. If you are alone, you are alone, too reluctant. Although his current strength is considered a master among the non, if he is against the entire Phantom Troop, a few lives are not enough. Phantom Troop is an organization that even Silva finds it difficult. After killing Phantom Troops now, 8 Spider, it actually said that accepting the task of assassinating Phantom Troop is not a worthwhile deal. Enough to show the strength of the members of Phantom Troop. After dispelling this idea, Kia silently exited the website and closed the phone. Looking at the dark forest outside the window, Kia was silent for a moment and assumed a posture of cultivation. Then, a mind energy different from that of Conjurer emerged on Kia's body surface. The next day, early in the morning, at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, Minchi broke into Kia's room. The moment Minchi broke in, Kia opened his eyes instantly, sat up from the bed. An array of cold gaze flashed across. I said, "Don't you think it's a very unladylike behavior to break into other people's rooms early in the morning?" After seeing Minchi, Kia's cold gaze disappeared instantly, replaced by its a lazy yawn. "My old lady didn't say that she is a lady," Minchi said carelessly. After finishing speaking, Minchi walked over quickly, grabbed Kia's quilt, and wanted to lift Kia's quilt. While pulling, he said, "Okay, get up quickly. The time is just right now. Let's go quickly." "Yes, yes, I see. By the way, why did you set off so early?" Kia asked curiously while running around the wetland. "Of course it's because this time is the best time to make a move." Minchi heard the words, looked over, smiled confidently, and said, "Today, let's not look for anything else and continue to attack Sakmo. I have studied the living habits of Sakmo for a long time. Every morning, that is between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning, Sakmo will come out of the lair and go to the nearby area to defecate. It takes half an hour to defecate. This period of time is our opportunity." Minchi's eyes sparkled, and he said excitedly, "Wait, boy, what kind of eyes do you have?" When she was excited, Minchi suddenly noticed Kia's shocked eyes. Although she didn't know why Kia had such eyes, she felt it instinctively. At this moment, what Kia was thinking in his heart was definitely not a good thing. You actually want to watch Sakmo excrete, and you even know the time so clearly. Abnormal. Kia looked at Minchi and said in shock, "Minchi, I'm not a pervert. Then I'm looking for opportunities. Know yourself and your enemy, and win every battle." Chapter 12, The Speechless Minchi. "Damn it, you brat. Dare you look at me with normal eyes?" In the depths of Shy-Mile wetland, Kia and Minchi were rushing on the road at a very fast speed. Minchi gritted his teeth and stared at Kia said, "Don't talk to me. Perverts are contagious." Kia immediately glanced at Minchi with disgust when he heard that, and said, Damn it, brat, I'll kill you." As soon as the words came out, Minchi went crazy, and regardless of the environment they were in, he rushed towards Kia with his hands facing each other. Kia's face was scratched. "Oh, are you crazy? You dare to mess around here." Kia dodged Minchi's pounce, and then looked at her like a fool and said, Kia remembered that this guy seemed to be the nun of the manipulator. So nervous, he dared to make such a fool in the depths of the Shamil wetland. You stinking brat. You had that kind of look just now, and now you have this kind of look. It's really irritating." Kia reminded Minchi of the environment he was in now, and he didn't continue to mess around. But she was still very angry and mad. Kia's eyes made her feel that she was discriminated against. Yes, I won't look at you with colored eyes anymore. Don't worry." Kia curled her lips and said in a very awkward tone. This tone made Minchi furious again, wanting to beat Kia violently. But thinking of where the two of them are now, Minchi suppressed this anger abruptly. "Stinky boy, just wait for me and see how I will deal with you later," Minchi said bitterly. She knows the special features of the lair of monsters like Sat and Moku, and those who don't know will definitely encounter those disgusting troubles when they enter. Originally, she wanted to tell Kia about these precautions, but she didn't want to tell them now. "Little boy, wait until you get embarrassed later. I won't tell you." Thinking of this, Minchi's face showed malicious intent. "I don't know what's going on. It was fine last night, but since this morning, the relationship between the two of them has been weird, as if they were happy enemies." Minchi was very angry by Kia, and This expression of Menchie just caught the attention of Kia, who wanted to ask how far Menchie was, which suddenly made Kia secretly more careful. This guy is secretly holding back some bad ideas, so pay attention later. Kia didn't perceive any malice from Menchie, but looking at Menchie's expression, it was obvious that he wanted to cheat himself, so Kia secretly became vigilant. Menchie, how far is it? Kia asked, secretly vigilant. There is still about half an hour, and Siamo Ku's lair is in a very deep place. Menchie heard this, restrained the smug smile on his face, and said with a smile on his face. It was as if the deflated just now had never happened at all. In response, the corners of Kia's mouth twitched slightly. Women are born actors. The face change is so fast, and the connection is perfect without any flaws. Remember to restrain your breath completely. Sakmo is very sensitive to breath. Yesterday, I was too excited to get Samo Ku's egg and leak my breath, so I was hunted down. Speaking of this, Menchie's with a straight face, he warned Kia. Do you see that I have breath in my body now? Kia fixed her eyes tightly on hearing this, and then asked back, Hey! Menchie's face froze when he heard this, and he didn't know what to say for a moment. Kia's current state is completely in an absolute state. If she hadn't looked at Kia with her own eyes, she wouldn't have believed that Kia was by her side. With an embarrassed smile, Menchie turned around, stopped talking, and continued to lead the way. This kid, he is really impeccable in his work. He doesn't give me a chance to perform like a gourmet hunter at all. Soon, more than 20 minutes passed. The two also rushed to the lair of Sakmo, mentioned by Menchie, on a hillside more than 300 meters away from Sakmo Ku's lair. Saimo Ku's lair is a huge cave, as big as the door of the Zoldyck family's trial. However, this is also normal. Although I didn't see the true face of the Saimo-ku monster yesterday, we can know from its eyes in the dense fog that Saimo-ku is a very large monster. To accommodate such a huge body, the hole must be large, otherwise it would be impossible to get in. I said, kid, don't squeeze me. By the way, Kia and Menchie were huddling together on a small tree at this time, using the dense leaves to cover their figures. However, the hidden space on the branches of this tree is a bit narrow. One person is fine, but two people are not enough. This guy Menchie is observing Sakmo's lair with a telescope at this time, while muttering dissatisfiedly, Hey, this is where I'm staying. You insisted on coming here. It's great that I can let you stay here. You still think I'm crowded? Kia twitched the corner of his mouth when he heard this, and then said bluntly, Besides, how much space my child's body can occupy is basically occupied by you. I can't help it. We have to stay together. I don't want to be the same as yesterday. Once we were discovered, let's get out of here immediately. Menchie was also very helpless. She didn't want to be chased like yesterday. She still has lingering fears about what happened yesterday. If it weren't for Kia yesterday, Menchie didn't know if he had a chance to survive. Once discovered, Menchie decided to ask Kia to take him away as quickly as possible without any risk. Okay, here's for you. I'll hide in another place. Kia was slightly speechless, then said, and after speaking, he was going to give this place to Menchie and find another place to hide. No, you're hiding here too. The time is coming, and Saimo-ku is about to come out. Sakmo's eyesight is very good, and it is not affected by the dense fog. Even at such a long distance, you will immediately appear it was discovered. Before Kia could take any action, Menchie directly suppressed Kia, preventing Kia from going out to startle the enemy. I got it. I won't go out. Don't press me down. In other words, the reason why it's so crowded here is because you two lumps are messing around. The cheeks were deformed by the soft stuff, Kia, you said, very dissatisfied. Huh? What are you talking about? Don't you men all like these two things? You still despise them. Menchie was dissatisfied when he heard that. Do you think I'm a man now? Kia snapped back. Menchie, you're right. I'm speechless. It appeared. Saimo-ku appeared. Chapter 13, Anti-Pit. Appear as soon as you appear. You should calm me down. Don't squeeze. And you almost gave away your breath. Facing Menchie's excitement, Kia hastily comforted him. This guy was too excited. Just now he got excited and immediately withdrew the absolute. If it weren't for the skin contact between the two now, and Kia hastily used you to cover up her breath, the two of them would have been exposed long ago. I'm sorry, but you guys have cultivated too much Jew, and you can forcibly pull me into je. Kia reminded Menchi to come to his senses. Yes, he quickly apologized. The Nyan Ki from the place where the two of them were in contact let Menchi know that he was excited just now. If Kia's Nyan Ki hadn't forced him to enter the state of extreme, the two of them would have been discovered by Saimo Ku just now. Immediately, she was frightened by Kia's absolute. This guy puts himself in an extreme state. This kind of ability can be achieved by naughty people as long as they practice hard for a period of time. After all, no one who can learn none is an idiot. However, it is shocking to want to cover up the breath of the people around you. This kind of delicate ability is difficult to achieve without more than 10 or 20 years of hard training. It's normal, as long as you're not stupid. Anyone can do it. Kia heard this and said very strangely, feeling that Menchi was making a fuss. Absolutely, this kind of ability, as long as you practice hard, anyone can do it as long as you can suppress the opponent's fluctuations. Moreover, as a killer, he is naturally very good at concealment. As soon as these words came out, Menchi was stunned for a moment, feeling that dozens of arrows had been shot all over his body, and the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. It's so simple, anyone can do it. This guy is so infuriating, the map cannon is so big. I'm really sorry that I can't do it easily. I'm dragging down human beings. But forget it, my lady has a lot, so I will forgive you this time magnanimously. The corner of his mouth twitched for a while. Menchi decided to ignore Kia's angry words. There's only one. Is the other one left in the cave? It was your reckless behavior yesterday. So Saimoku is prepared? Kia observed the situation outside for a while, watching a huge monster shrouded in thick fog leave the cave, but did not see the second. It's a little strange to say. Huh? What are you talking about? Saimoku is a parthenogenetic beast. It has always lived alone, and each generation will only leave one offspring. However, each generation of Samku is very powerful. Well, their eggs are also very powerful. Delicious. Hearing Kia's doubts, Menchi suddenly looked like Kia was making a fuss, and then gave Kia some science. When it came to the end, Menchi thought of the Saimo egg he ate last night, and immediately thought about it, and licked his lips slightly with his tongue. Is that so? So, there's only one Saimo in this place. Kia nodded in understanding after hearing this, and then asked back. That's right, Saimo is a monster in the fog, and it is a world-class endangered monster designated by the Hunter Association. Menchi nodded slightly, and then replied, endangered monster, then is it not good for us to do this? If it becomes extinct in our hands, then, hearing that this monster is actually an endangered monster, Kia hesitated for a while. You said this, don't worry. Although it is an endangered beast, countries in the world have not restricted the hunting of this Sakmo beast, so you don't have to worry about the consequences at all. It's better to say that if you can kill the Sakmo beast, you'll get a huge bounty, because this guy is full of treasures, many of which are the world's top materials, and can make all kinds of powerful weapons. It's the fat of many Warcraft hunters. Many Warcraft hunters often come here to find trouble with Sakmo. However, almost no one can get the treasures from Sakmo. Almost all the monster hunters who use the materials on Sakmo are dead. However, I heard that the president came to trouble the Sakmo monster. It seems that he beat the Sakmo monster half to death. I don't know if it's true or not. Menchi talked endlessly while observing. That old urchin. Hearing this, Kia raised his brows immediately, and an image of an old urchin appeared in his mind. Did that old guy come here to trouble the monsters here? Okay, Saimoka has left, we can start. At this moment, Menchi also stopped talking and reminded. Then she left Kia's body in an extremely indecent posture, making Kia bear the offensive of a wave of facial cleanser. You guys did it on purpose, you can't go out properly. As soon as he came out, Kia started to pat the leaves on his body and said with gritted teeth, this guy squeezed his face out of shape just now. Stinky boy, I'm giving you benefit from the girl. You just accept it without being grateful. But you still have this expression. What do you mean? Menchi was also patting the leaves at this time, and when he heard Kia's words, he's suddenly furious. Who? This brat, no matter how many people want to take advantage of this girl, there's no chance this guy actually despises her. It's really annoying. Soon, within a minute, the two of them took off all the leaves on their bodies. Okay, come with me. Minchi waved to Kia and then jumped out without a sound. Seeing this, Kia also used a dark step and followed silently. Here we are. The speed of the two was very fast. The distance was several hundred meters, and they arrived in more than a minute. I'm going to release the wind. You go in and steal Sa Mo Ku's eggs. Minchi said to Kia, and the corners of his mouth curled into an undetectable arc during the words. If you're not careful, you won't notice it at all. However, Kia, who had been on guard for a long time, naturally noticed this. However, he didn't say much, but began to carefully observe the situation in Sa Mo Ku's lair. This observation really made Kia observe some clues. The corner of Kia's mouth twitched suddenly. Are you so excited? Are you sure you're qualified for this job? Kia walked over calmly and asked Minchi. Don't worry. Although this lady is easily agitated, there won't be a third time. You are fast. Steal Sakmo's egg from inside, and then let's leave here as quickly as possible. Minchi heard Yin, with his back to Kia, wave his hands casually and said, That's right. As a gourmet hunter, you're the best at this kind of thing. Kia walked to Minchi's side, said lightly, and then he walked towards the entrance of the cave. Minchi, who was behind Kia, saw this, and the corner of his mouth curled up. Hey, I got tricked, kid. Minchi watched Kia walking towards the entrance of the cave step by step. His heart was full of excitement. Brat, let you owe me a lesson. This time I'll teach you a lesson. Minchi can't wait to see Kia in trouble. However, at this moment, Kia stopped walking and squatted down. Minchi suddenly felt a lump in his heart. This kid must have discovered something. However, at this moment, Kia turned his head to look at Minchi and said solemnly, Minchi, come here. There's a problem around here. There are enemies with very strong concealment ability near us. Don't separate. While speaking, Kia's eyeballs kept looking around, vigilant about her surroundings, showing a cautious expression. Hearing this, Minchi was taken aback for a moment, then frowned slightly, followed Kia's words, and walked over. Although he wanted to punish Kia, but seeing Kia's expression, Minchi was not self-willed. However, when Minchi walked carefully to Kia's side and looked around, Kia suddenly stretched out his hand and pushed her. Minchi was startled for a moment, with a look of astonishment on his face, and then he rushed out towards the cave quickly. Then there was a scream. You stinky brat. Chapter 14, Foodie Nature. It's called Self-Inflicted Suffering. Standing in front of Sa Mo Ku's lair, Kia crossed her arms with a proud expression on her face. At this time, at the mouth of Sa Mo Ku's cave, Minchi was writhing with an uncomfortable expression. There's a layer of transparent mucus on her body. This layer of mucus is exactly what is at the entrance of the cave. It is difficult to see with the naked eye. Kia can only observe it through very careful observation. Minchi just wants to use this layer of mucus to trap Kia. Revenge for Kia's annoying behavior just now. Just looking at this layer of mucus is enough to make Kia feel sick. You brat! Minchi gritted his teeth and looked at Kia and read. He understood what it means to be an enemy who is hidden nearby. This is obviously an excuse to deceive her, a rhetoric used to lure her into a hook. This brat definitely discovered the layer of transparent slime at the entrance of Sa Mo Ku's lair and knew that he was going to punish him, so he used his plan to cheat himself. However, although he hates Kia, Minchi has no intention of attacking Kia, because no matter how you look at this situation, it is my own fault. After all, the two are now in a cooperative relationship, but I have concealed this information. Being betrayed is also his own fault. Smelly brat, get me out quickly, or Sa Mo Ku will come back. Minchi yelled at Kia. No way. The mucus at the mouth of Sa Mo Ku's cave is very strong for the protection of Sa Mo Ku's nest when he goes out. If you are careful and use thought energy isolation before entering, then nothing will happen. But once it is stuck, it is not easy to break free. With her own strength, it would take at least 5 minutes to break free completely. In normal times, 5 minutes is nothing. However, The current situation is precisely the race against time. She was slapped by Kia just now, which made her shout out involuntarily in anger. With such a loud sound, the Sa-mo who left here just now must have heard it. Definitely heading back now. Gotta get out of here before Sa-mo comes back, or it's over. I just stole an egg from Sa-mo yesterday, and I came to steal it again today. It is conceivable how furious Sa-mo was when he saw himself. Even with Kia, a guy with amazing speed, Minchi still feels very bad and has no idea. Do you still dare to trick me? Facing Minchi's request for help, Kia did not act immediately, but squatted down halfway, looking at her with a smile, and said, I know, this time it was my fault. There will never be a next time. Next time I do it, I will share all the information I know with you. Help quickly, or we won't be able to leave later. Hearing this, Minchi's face became more anxious. His tone gradually softened, and he begged Kia. It's you who can't leave. I can leave any time I want. Kia raised her eyebrows and said lightly. Even so, Kia made a move. Use your strongest entanglement. As soon as he stretched out his hand, the blue lightning flickered, Kia said to Minchi, and then the lightning in his hand turned into a series of blue thunder branches that spread and enveloped him. Seeing this, Minchi also instantly opened up his Yin Ki defense to the maximum and defended his whole body. In the next moment, the entire cave was brightly lit, and chirping like 1,000 birds resounded throughout the forest. There was blue lightning covering Minchi's body. Even though he had used his strongest thoughts to defend, Minchi still trembled when the lightning fell on him. A tingling sour feeling instantly covered the whole body, making Minchi want to cry out comfortably. However, Minchi's willpower is also very strong, and he forcibly suppressed the idea of wanting to call out. In less than 10 seconds, the faint blue lightning disappeared, and Sa-mo's lair returned to its original appearance again, and the thick fog shrouded it again. And the layer of transparent mucus on Minchi's body has completely disappeared at this time. Although the adhesiveness is very strong, in the final analysis, the composition of this mucus is mostly water. Kia's lightning just counteracts this. The lightning released by Kia directly decomposed the mucus, turned it into mist, and merged into the surrounding dense fog. As for Minchi, after the lightning disappeared, his legs softened slightly, and he sat on the ground in an M shape. Afterwards, Minchi raised his head, his face was flushed, and he gave Kia a hard look, as if he wanted to bite off Kia's meat for dinner. You don't have to thank me. Facing Minchi's gnashing of teeth, Kia grinned slightly, with big white teeth open, and smiled. Heck, hearing this, Minchi was almost not PD off. Who is to blame for my appearance? I still want to thank you. Why don't you go to heaven? This brat looks so cute, but he likes to irritate people so much. Slightly calming down the emotional fluctuations in his heart, Minchi forced himself to calm down, ignored Kia's irritating words, turned around, and walked quickly towards the Sa-mo cave. Seeing this, Kia also followed. You must get the egg from Sa-mo as soon as possible. Minchi's yelling just now must have exposed them. Get out of here before Sa-mo comes back. Sa-mo's lair is a very ordinary cave. The only advantage is that it is spacious, and the first thing that catches Kia's eyes is the 3 giant eggs that are particularly conspicuous in the haystack. This is exactly the egg of Sa-mo that Kia ate yesterday. One for each person. Take one and go straight away. Minchi walked over quickly, without procrastinating, picked up one of them directly, opened his mouth and said, and ran quickly towards the entrance of the cave after speaking. Seeing this, Kia didn't say anything, and quickly walked over, looking at the remaining 2 giant eggs that were 2/3 of her height. Squinting his eyes slightly, an invisible force came out, and the next moment, the 2 giant eggs disappeared out of thin air. It was taken into the system space by Kia. After finishing all these, Kia quickly walked back. However, within 2 steps, there was a huge vibration on the ground, and the entire cave began to shake. It's a lie, I'm back so soon. Minchi stabilized his body, then looked out of the cave in disbelief and said, No, according to Sa-mo-ku's speed, it is impossible for Sa-mo-ku to come back here so soon. Kia, hurry up, use your ability, let's get out of here. Immediately, Minchi turned around anxiously and shouted at Kia. However, what he saw when he turned around made Minchi stunned. Where's the egg? Minchi had such a question in his mind. Boom! Just at this moment, a terrifying impact came from outside, and it swept across in an instant. Minchi, who was wondering, was immediately blasted. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and the whole person turned into a black shadow and shot out. Chapter 15 Temporary Retreat Call Out. Boom! A strange sound rang in Kia's ear, and a black afterimage shot past Kia's side. Immediately afterwards, there was a loud noise from behind Kia. The rock wall of the cave behind Kia collapsed directly, and the smoke filled the air in an instant. In front of Kia, Minchi's figure has completely disappeared. In its place was a huge figure, the Warcraft shaman Mo-ku. Mo-ku walked in slowly, and in an instant, the whole cave was plunged into darkness. After the Mo-ku entered, the huge hole was completely blocked, and the light of the outside world was completely isolated at this moment. In the entire cave, the only thing that radiates light is the eyes that are bigger than the lantern. So fast, looking at the giant eyes in front of him, Kia thought to himself. Slap! A soft sound echoed in the cave. It was followed by Minchi's feeble cough. Hearing the sound, Kia's body instantly burst into brilliant lightning and entered the state of super speed. The blue lightning completely illuminated the dark cave. With a flash, Kia came to Minchi's side. At this time, Minchi propped his hands on a pile of rubble, coughing continuously, and blood spurted out with the coughing. Beside him, Sakmo's egg was standing quietly on the ground. It's all right. Kia stretched out his hand to support Minchi, caring. The 5 internal organs are coughing, the 6 internal organs are cracked, and the body functions are severely damaged. I can no longer support me, to use none to fight. Kia, hurry up, use your ability quickly. Let's get out of here. The strength of this Mo-ku is too terrifying. You're no match for it. Minchi, who was supported by Kia, looked slightly dispirited, and his tone was weak, talking intermittently. Let Kia quickly use none to escape from here. After that, Minchi spurted out another mouthful of blood and sprayed Kia directly. The bright color stained most of Kia's light purple clothes. And coughing up a mouthful of blood, Minchi also lost consciousness directly, leaning against Kia's body completely. Seeing this, Kia used a little force to hold Minchi to her chest in the way of a princess hug. In the darkness, looking at the giant in front of him, feeling the terrifying aura emanating from it, Kia's immature face frowned. Kia didn't expect that Mo-ku came back here so soon. Yesterday's chasing battle with Mo-ku made Kia think that Mo-ku's speed was just like that. Kia has already been calculated. Even if he cheated Minchi and made some noise, Mo-ku noticed it. At the speed of Mo-ku, before he rushed back, both himself and Minchi could escape unscathed. But Kia didn't expect Mo-ku to come back so quickly. Moreover, the shot was swift and devastating, without any delay at all. While Minchi was in a daze, he hit with one blow, seriously injuring Minchi, a man who had achieved little success. You made a mistake. You have to learn from this lesson well. This mistake cannot be repeated. Kia feels that his experience is too little, and he has made 2 mistakes in a row when he came to the wetland. You have to reflect on yourself after you go back. But immediately, Kia's eyes became hot. The overlord in the depths of the wetmeal wetland is so powerful that it really makes people tremble. Do you really want to fight this guy? In the darkness, Kia stared at the behemoth in front of him, a little excited. Kia has already fully understood the strength of Mo-ku from that blow just now. Although the Mo-ku in front of him is powerful and dangerous, it is not much stronger than himself. If you really fight, you may not be afraid of it. The victory or defeat should be the number of 55. The reason why Kia ran away as soon as he saw Mo-ku yesterday was because Kia was in a very bad state yesterday. Save 1. fighting against Sa-mo-ku in that state. Isn't that courting death? However, Kia is at the peak of his state now. If he fights against Sa-mo-ku, he may not be defeated, and he may even win. Still, forget it. Even if I get away with killing this big guy, my state will drop to the bottom. In this dangerous place, it is absolutely not advisable. Moreover, this guy Minchi's condition is not good. He must be treated as soon as possible. Although it is ridiculous, Minchi was seriously injured by Sa-mo-ku because of his own reasons. If he hadn't pitted Minchi himself, made Minchi yell angrily, and lead Sa-mo-ku back, Minchi would not have been seriously injured. Moreover, Minchi was stunned because he put the other 2 eggs of Sa-mo-ku into the system space. Faced with the consequences of his willfulness, Kia will naturally not shirk his responsibility, and it is impossible to let Minchi die of such a serious injury. So retreat for now. Without any hesitation, Kia directly made a decision. Immediately, Kia looked at the egg of Sa-mo-ku beside him, and the next second, this egg also disappeared into the cave. A faint thought energy enveloped Kia and Minchi, and their figures disappeared into the cave. Without the illumination of Kia's thunder and lightning, the entire cave returned to darkness again. Roar! From just now, the reason why Sa-mo-ku didn't attack Kia and Minchi was because he was afraid of throwing a mouse. Because its only egg is by Kia's side, it is afraid that the last egg will be destroyed, so it endures without doing anything, and at the same time, it is afraid that Kia will use this egg as a threat. But now his last heir is gone, and it was escaped by these 2 hateful humans. Under the powerful mind energy, the terrifying roar turned into a super powerful sound wave, which spread out with the momentum of destroying everything. Boom! With a loud bang, Sa-mo-ku's lair was directly reduced to ruins, and a huge explosion resounded throughout the depths of the Wetmeal Wetland. In the depths of the Wetmeal Wetland, other Warcraft overlords lurking in the dark turned their eyes to Sa-mo-ku's lair at this moment. What is that old guy going crazy? Chapter 16, The Linen Tone on the outskirts of Wetmeal Wetland, in the residence of the Hunter Association. In the room where Kia stayed last night, a white light appeared out of thin air, and then the figures of Kia and Minchi emerged in the white light. Trait is ability, space, and none who just started Kia. This ability, Kia can already use it after awakening. It's just that many abilities have not been developed according to the charter. Kia took the time to develop it last night. It is easy to develop an ability while already awakened, similar to Flying Thor's teleportation ability in Naruto. Space transfer. At the place where Kia left the coordinates, it can be transferred by spending enough yen ki. This ability was just developed by Kia last night, and the only coordinate is this room. Fortunately, Kia developed this ability last night. Otherwise, Minchi is really in danger today. Kia's super speed can take Minchi away, but that is when Minchi turns on in defense. But even so, being entangled by Kia's super speed, Minchi still suffered some slight damage. That is to say, Minchi is a foodie. He doesn't care about anything in order to eat, and he still finds Kia to cooperate when he knows that Kia's speed has such disadvantages. However, Minchi is seriously injured now, and it is impossible to defend against Kia's thunder. Take Minchi away with super speed? That would be tantamount to making matters worse. Kia can guarantee that before Minchi arrives at the hospital, the seriously injured Minchi will be exacerbated by the severe injury caused by the lightning on his body and die. So, this time Minchi is really lucky, and she deserves to die. Slap! As soon as it landed, Kia ran outside with Minchi in his arms. While walking, Kia was talking on the phone. Contact the driver who brought him here last time. In the case of not being able to use super speed, the car is the fastest means of transportation. Kia is not as fast as a car without using the super fast Kia. Minchi's condition is dire and needs to be treated as quickly as possible, as delaying it for too long could be life-threatening. It seems that we must cultivate a healing ability. Otherwise, it will be the same as this time, powerless. Kia was thinking while running towards the periphery of Shy Mile wetland at the fastest speed other than the super speed state. The nearest city to Bolero City and Shamil wetland. In the largest hospital in the city, in a luxurious ward, Kia quietly looked at Minchi lying unconscious on the hospital bed. It has been 3 days since I came here. When the driver called by Kia arrived, he was frightened after seeing Kia in Minchi's situation and wanted to turn around and leave without wanting to get involved. After all, the situation of the two of them is not a good thing at first glance. Although the driver likes the white money, he doesn't want to be involved in inexplicable strange things because of it. But under Kia's indifferent eyes, the driver chose Songshin and obediently drove Kia and Minchi to the largest hospital in the city center. After coming here, Kia directly used the energy of the Zoldyck family and arranged for the best doctor in the vicinity to treat Minchi. After the doctor's hard work, Minchi's life was saved, but he remained in a coma. From the doctor, Kia learned that Minchi should wake up within a week. It may be 1 day, it may be 2 days, or even a week. It all depends on Minchi's own willpower. This guy doesn't seem very smart, and even though she yelled in such a place, she still let her guard down. I really don't know how she became a food hunter, but judging by her age, she should still be a newcomer. Experienced? What a ghost. Or is it the nature of a foodie? Seeing that Sa-Mo-ku's egg disappeared, he completely ignored other things. Looking at Minchi, who was in a coma, Kia complained silently. It's fine to yell to bring Sa-Mo-ku back, but after knowing that Sa-Mo-ku has arrived, you are still in a daze? Isn't this courting death? Looking at Minchi's normal ECG, Kia shook his head speechlessly. Afterwards, Kia got up and left here. Yamain, I will leave this place to you. Walking out of the ward, Minchi instructed the girl in a suit standing outside the ward. Yes, Master Kia. The girl in a suit agreed solemnly upon hearing this. Yamain is the housekeeper transferred by Kia from Kukula Mountain and is the granddaughter of Silva Zoldyck's direct housekeeper, Z Ponian. He is also a housekeeper that Kia got along well with in Kukula Mountain. Since Kia was a child, he has been by Kia's side under the command of Silva. This time, when this happened, Kia called the Linen Tone to help take care of it. Kia himself, this time coming to Shamil Wetland. Kia's purpose is to obtain strengthening points from the monsters in Wetmeal Wetland. Naturally, it is impossible to stop his plan because of Minchi. Although you can't get strengthening points from special items like Sa-Mo-ku's eggs, it doesn't prevent Kia from killing monsters to get them. Therefore, now that Minchi has settled down, Kia is also preparing to return to the wetland. As for why Kia specifically called Yamain over instead of other housekeepers, Kia only trusts Lin-In. He really can't believe the other housekeepers, because the other stewards will more or less obey Silva and Illumi. Asking other housekeepers to come over, Kia was afraid that Silva and the others would order the housekeeper to kill Minchi if they knew that they had specially asked the housekeeper of the Zoldyck family to look after an outsider. Because, in their minds, the future head of House Zoldyck needs no friends, and only the Linen Tone can be trusted by Kia. Hey, Yamain, you're my only playmate now, and this is not the Zoldyck family. You don't have to be sullen when facing me. Just relax. Looking at Yamain's stern face, Kia was slightly speechless, sound persuasion. When Yamain heard this, her face was slightly relaxed, but at the next moment, she suddenly thought of something, her face changed slightly, and she became serious again. Seeing this, Kia sighed again, without saying anything, reached out to pat Yamain's arm, and then left. Being small as F, Ed, you can't pat your shoulders, you can only pat your arms. Chapter 17, Healing Ability. Ring of Angels. Minchi is not very smart, so I don't want to cooperate with her anymore. Moreover, the number of special items such as Sa-Mo-ku's eggs is too small. I'd better deal with these monsters honestly, and I can also increase them. Some battle experience. Kia was thinking silently on the way to the wetland of Shamil. This guy Minchi is too excitable, and he made mistakes one after another in the dangerous place deep in the Wetmeal Wetland. Kia felt that if he cooperated with her, he would be cheated to death. In addition, Kia overestimated the number of eggs of Sa-Mo-ku. So Kia decided to give up cooperating with her. Well, although this guy's cooking skills are top-notch and make people linger, but compared to the nature of his crap, Kia still resists the temptation of delicious food. Soon, Kia entered the outskirts of the wetland and came to the Hunter Association's residence. Before entering the depths of the wet meal wetland again, let's cultivate the healing nun. If you want to fight for a long time in such a dangerous place, the ability to heal is a must. Thinking silently, Kia came into the room. The most beneficial systems for practicing healing abilities are Manipulator, Traits, Conjurer, and Enhancer. As for the other two systems, it might be possible to cultivate the ability to heal, but the Nun cultivated is more effective than the gain. I don't need to think about none of Traits and Conjurer for the time being, so my choices are only Manipulator and Enhancer. Kia's Trait system and Conjurer system have already been developed, and it is difficult to develop other abilities on this basis. So if you want to develop healing ability, then the choice for Kia is Manipulator and Enhancer. The choice made by Kia is Manipulator. It only takes 1,000 reinforcement points to open the Noonan system. As long as Kia uses 1,000 reinforcement points, Kia's physique will change. Awaken the Manipulator system, and let the Nun key in the body show the characteristics of the Manipulator. However, this awakening is different from the awakening of the Nun system drawn by Kia before. The system awakening that Kia drew before was to randomly awaken a Nun system and gain an ability. And this kind of system attribute that consumes strengthening points to awaken only allows you to obtain a Nun system yourself and will not directly awaken the ability. The Nun of this system requires you to cultivate by yourself, and what kind of ability you cultivate depends entirely on yourself. After awakening the Manipulator system, Kia can use this system to cultivate and manifest items and props with healing abilities. Of course, Kia can also use strengthening points to redevelop a healing ability in the trait department and Conjurer. However, these two systems of Kia have already developed capabilities, and to quickly develop new capabilities on this basis, the required enhancement points are fully doubled, requiring 2,000. Kia only has more than 2,000 strengthening points now. Once this method is used, the healing ability really needs Kia to cultivate slowly. Kia doesn't have time to practice slowly here. When he cultivates the Nun who heals, the day Lily will be cold. So Kia is going to use the strengthening point to directly let himself develop the Manipulator to manifest the healing props. The ability of the Manipulator is to manifest the desired items, props, or weapons with the mind. As for the characteristics of the manifested items, it depends on the imagination of the Nun. As long as your mind is big enough, the mind can, if you have enough key, you can change the nature of the thought key by relying on your brain hole, and anything can be manifested. Of course, this ability also has a limit, and this limit is the ability of the weak. It is naturally impossible for items and props that exceed the abilities of Nun to be materialized. As for the Enhancer, if the Enhancer is cultivated to a certain level, it is true that the Nun have the ability to heal themselves. It is a passive ability, but it can only be achieved at a certain level. I want to strengthen to the kind of Enhancer Nun that allows me to have healing ability. Sorry, Kia's current enhancement points are not enough. Kia estimates that to activate the Enhancer and strengthen the Enhancer Nun to the point of healing itself, at least it needs to be at the same level as his current Conjurer Nun, and the required reinforcement points are estimated to be 6,000 to 7,000 or even tens of thousands. Thinking of this, Kia silently gave up the plan to activate the Enhancer. System, use 1,000 points of strengthening points to open the Manipulator system, and use 1,000 points to designate realization of Nun treatment. Kia said silently in his heart. Ding. Use 1,000 reinforcement points to awaken. Congratulations to the host for awakening the Manipulator Nun system. Ding. Use 1,000 strengthening points to designate Nun and heal. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Nun Manifestation Angel Ring. The system's ability to handle affairs is very fast. As soon as Kia finished speaking, the system responded with an ethereal. The voice rang in Kia's mind. The next moment, Kia felt that some changes had taken place in his body, and the thoughts in his body had changed. Similar to the previous awakening of the trait system, Kia's Nyan Ki has changed again at this time, giving birth to a completely different trait from the conjurer and the trait system. Feeling the change of mind energy in his body, Kia remained silent. Stretching out his hand gently, a blue wave of thoughts emerged in Kia's hand. Immediately afterwards, this thought energy began to condense, and in just a second, this thought energy turned into a silver ring, which appeared on the middle finger of Kia's right hand. Kia looked at the silver ring on his finger and thought a little. Then a green light appeared in Kia's hand. Kia looked at it, and then his left hand changed into a ferocious, life-threatening hand. Sharp nails pierced the palm of his hand, and a wound appeared, bleeding continuously. Kia covered the wound with green light. I saw that the wound began to recover at a speed visible to the naked eye, and it returned to its original state in about 10 seconds, without leaving any scars. 10 seconds? It's not bad, but it's not enough. It only takes 10 seconds to treat this kind of wound, and more serious injuries will take more time. In high-intensity battles, this recovery speed cannot be achieved. Effect. However, the strengthening points are gone, so we can only wait until we get enough strengthening points again before strengthening. Name: Kia's Zoldyck abilities. Conjurer Nun Speed Thunder, 5,000. Trait Nun Space, 5,000. Manipulator Nun Ring of Angels, 1,000. Note: the strengthening points required for the next strengthening are in brackets. Strengthening points: 302 item. Aluminum Alloy Yo-Yo, the Ring of Angels. I can use it 3 times a day. This is a limit. If it is strengthened again, the number of times I can use it every day will increase, and the healing ability will become stronger. Then, now that you have a healing ability, it's time to go. After shaking hands, Kia said lightly, then turned and left, heading towards the depths of the wetland. Chapter 18 Constitution Silva. Look at what Kia has done. He actually arranged for a butler to take care of an outsider. How can this be possible? Kia is too presumptuous. Kukalushan, the Zoldyck family, screamed together. The sound suddenly sounded, and in a room, Kikyo, who was wearing a kimono, was covering his head with his hands and shaking violently. His face seemed to be very disbelieving. It's so noisy, Kikyo. This guy Kia has his own ideas. Don't interfere. Facing Kikyo's screams, which are enough to bring the dead back to life, Silva's expression didn't change at all, as if he didn't hear this at all. The lethal scream is average. Silva, what are you talking about? Kia is not allowed to have too deep communication with outsiders. It is already unacceptable to transfer a housekeeper from the family just to take care of a woman. Kia is so young. She must have been confused by that woman. It must be that vixen. She must be killed. Hearing Silva's calm words, Kikyo couldn't calm down and shouted at Silva excitedly. Roared. Immediately, her brain circuit did not know what to do, and she suddenly imagined that Kia was confused by Min Shi and regarded Min Shi as a vixen. After brainstorming, Kikyo rushed out directly. Sitting on the cushion, Silva looked at Kikyo, who left madly. His stiff face changed slightly, and he sighed slightly. Kikyo is good in everything, but he has a crazy personality, especially when it comes to Kia. However, it's really strange that Kia actually does such a thing. No, this kind of thing may be very strange, or even impossible for Illumi and the others, but it feels very normal to Kia. His character is like this, different from other people in the family. However, this is not a good thing. Kia, you are the heir to the assassination world, the future head of the Zoldyck family. You can't let your emotions control you. Let Kikyo teach you well. The stiff face softened slightly, but Silva's eyes shone with a cold light. Kia didn't know what happened in Kukula Mountain. At this time, Kia had stepped into the depths of Shamil Wetland again. However, Kia was not as lucky as the last 2 times when he entered the Wetmeal Wetland this time. This time, entering the depths of the Wetmeal Wetland, Kia was directly targeted by Sa Mo Ku. Cutting off children and grandchildren made Desa Mo Ku's anger break through the sky, and there is no possibility of calming down. For the past 2 days, Sa Mo Ku has been lying in ambush at the entrance to the depths of the wetland. As soon as Kiya stepped here, he immediately attacked Kiya. Suddenly, the entire wet melee wetland was surging. The sound of huge explosions continued to spread in the wet meal wetland. Even in the depths of this wetland, shrouded in dense fog, the sky at this time is covered with dark clouds and extremely dark, with the sound of thunder roaring from time to time, and the faint blue thunder and lightning continue to strike down from the sky. On the ground, there were continuous bursts of explosions. In the smoke, Kiya's figure kept flickering, causing waves of thunder and explosions. On the opposite side of Kiya is a colossal monster shrouded in dense fog, its huge lantern-like eyes exuding scarlet color. Every time the huge animal claws fall, the ground can be cracked and broken stones fly across. Where a man and a beast are, the earth crumbles and no peace is complete. Lightning. In the state of super speed, Kiya quickly dodged the attack of Synopsis and then used his own lightning to trigger the thunderclouds in the sky to drop a powerful thunder. It's not that Kiya's current ability can already affect the weather, but because Kiya's luck is very good. Well, I don't know if it's good or bad. As soon as she entered the depths of the wetland, Kiya was targeted by Synopsis and was almost seriously injured by a sneak attack. However, as soon as he entered here, the current climate in the depths of the wetland provided Kiya with an excellent place to fight. The dark clouds, dense clouds, lightning, and thunder made Kiya, who used thunder to fight, at least strengthened several levels of combat power. With this climate, Kiya only needs to use a little thunder in his body to pull a powerful thunder from the sky to attack Synopsis. Needless to say, thunder speed is fast, but Synopsis has a huge body. Facing this kind of attack, he can only passively withstand and defend, unable to evade, just like a target. More than 20 minutes have passed since the beginning. The battle between the two was back and forth, and Synopsis was bombarded by thunder for such a long time. If it wasn't for the fact that Synopsis is a top monster with rough skin and thick flesh, plus it also has the defense of Nyan Ki, its skin would have been ripped apart under the bombardment of the thunder. The top monsters also have the mind energy that humans have. They will automatically awaken mind energy after they reach adulthood. However, monsters are not the same as humans. They will not develop mind energy and only use mind energy to attack and defend. Miscalculation, Synopsis, is worthy of being one of the overlords in the depths of the wet meal wetland. If I didn't have the time, I would definitely have a 70% chance of winning or losing a battle with this guy. I am 3, and this guy is 70%. This guy has rough skin and thick flesh. He can't break through his physical defense at all. Moreover, although he is big, he is flexible and agile. My speed can't play a big role. If it's normal, I can't beat him, I can only run away. But now, the time is with me. As long as you keep using it, no matter how strong your defense is, you will definitely not be my opponent. Holding the thunder in his hand, Kiya's expression will be full of confidence. This is the conclusion that Kiya came to in the fight with Synopsis just now. Synopsis' defense is really too strong. Kiya's full attack can only hurt the flesh and fur and can't cause any real useful damage to him at all. Moreover, the speed that Kiya is proud of cannot play a decisive role. Although Synopsis' speed is slightly inferior to Kiya, it is not much different. Basically, 5 times out of 10 attacks will be defeated by Synopsis. Resist. However, Kiya is not discouraged because the time of day is now on Kiya's side. The dark clouds all over the sky are Kiya's most powerful helper. As soon as the words fell, Kiya turned into a blue light again and attacked Synopsis. The fist wrapped in thunder struck with Synopsis' giant claws. The destructive thunder exploded on Synopsis' giant claw, blasting out a scorched black smoking wound on Synopsis' giant claw, and the pain from the wound made Synopsis growl. And Kiya also flew upside down because of Synopsis' huge strength. And Synopsis, after roaring, didn't care about the scorched black wound in his hand at all. After hitting Kiya with a blow, he attacked Kiya, who was flying upside down again. Thunder. Boom. Facing Synopsis' pursuit, Kia is temporarily unable to fight back. But Kia is not without methods of confrontation. While flying upside down, he stretched out his hand and directly pulled down a powerful thunderbolt to directly confront Sa-mo-ku. Sa-mo-ku's offensive stopped immediately, and Kia also seized the opportunity, turned over, and landed on the ground, gliding on the ground for more than 10 meters before stopping. Worthy of being one of the overlords, the physical strength is really terrifying. Looking up, Kia looked at Mo-ku and shook his hands. Although he was not discouraged, his eyes revealed strong aggrievedness. Even with the Yen Ki bonus, Kia's strength is still too weak. My physical strength is too weak. I need to improve my physique. Chapter 19, Restraint and Killing. After fighting for half an hour, Kia's whole body is now sore. The strength of Sa-mo-ku is too strong. Every time they fight, Kia is at a disadvantage in terms of strength. It's not an opponent at all, although my own thunder can hurt it, but he will be bombarded every time. Kia's physique can be said to be very strong. After all, Kia has been able to open 4 doors of the trial door of the Zoldyck family. But in the face of Sa-mo-ku's attack, he was still powerless and couldn't resist it at all. It's decided. After collecting enough strengthening points, turn on the enhancer system. The enhancer is specialized in cultivating the physical body, and it is also the most suitable for fighting. Its power is very terrifying. At the same time, the body of the nun of the enhancer is basically very strong because when the nun of the enhancer is practicing, the physique is at the level of the enhancer Nyanki, the warming will gradually become stronger. As for how much it will become stronger, it depends entirely on the nun itself and on the strength of the nun's thoughts. The nun of the enhancer can also be divided into 3 types of practice, which are strengthen oneself, strengthen props, and the healing ability of the body. These 3 kinds have typical representatives in the original works. Yuvijin's body enhancement, Yuvijin's enhancer nun, is to strengthen itself, making its own body extremely powerful. Each blow has a very powerful force, and its Nirvana Super Destruction Fist is even more powerful than a missile. Nobunaga's weapon is strengthened. The face is injected into the weapon, and then everything around him is cut off with a knife. In the original book, Nobunaga uses this ability to resurrect Yuvijin, who has a body of steel, with 1 knife. As for the 3rd healing ability, this healing ability is to strengthen and activate cells, accelerate metabolism, and metabolize injured tissues, thereby achieving the ability to heal injuries. This can also be regarded as the basic ability of an enhancer. Every enhancer nun can do it, but the ability is different. And after Kia fought with Sa-mo-ku, what he longed for most at this time was the enhancer's physical strengthening ability. Fighting against Sa-mo-ku, every time he was blown away due to lack of strength. This made Kia very annoyed. After this time, Kia didn't want to put herself in this situation anymore. Although the current situation is that he has the advantage, this kind of battle is too useless. Kia's eyes exuded a cold light, staring fixedly at Sa-mo-ku in front of him. Kia no longer confronted Sa-mo-ku, but kept waving his hands, pulling thunderbolts down from the sky, striking Sa-mo-ku's head, and the whole sky lit up, flickering, wet and happy. Most of the fog in the depths dissipated at this moment. ZZZZ. The faint blue thunder and lightning exploded, continuously swimming along Sa-mo-ku's body, destroying Sa-mo-ku's body. Snapped. Finally, an abnormal sound came out from Sa-mo-ku's body, and in the thick fog, a bright red blood sprayed out. There was a crack in Sa-mo-ku's arm, and blood spurted out. Seeing this scene, Kia's eyes lit up. Kia knew that this guy's physical defense had reached its limit. The reason why Kia's attack can't play a big role is because the defense on Sa-mo-ku's body is too strong. The thunder can only attack the surface of Sa-mo-ku's body and cause flesh wounds, but cannot damage its internal organs. However, now, with Kia's continuous attacks, wounds finally appeared on Sa-mo-ku's body. This means that Kia's next attack, every thunder can penetrate into the body of Mo-ku and cause very serious damage to Mo-ku. Thinking of this, Kia was extremely excited inside. As long as it continues, this guy can be killed soon. Excited in his heart, Kiya waved his hand, ready to pull the thunder from the sky to attack again. However, at this moment, Samoka suddenly changed. At this moment, the dense fog that has been entwined all year round and never dissipated slowly dissipated, revealing its true appearance. Seeing this scene, Kiya's pupils shrank suddenly, and his face changed suddenly. It's not because of the real appearance that Sa-Imoku showed. The appearance of Sa-Imoku is very ordinary, exactly like a bear, but the body is even bigger. The reason why Kiya's face changed drastically was because the fog that spread from Sa-Imoku's body brought a very strong crisis to Kiya at this moment. What's going on? Why is it like this? It's not that Kiya didn't touch the dense fog when he fought against Samoku just now, but it didn't give Kiya this sense. But now, as soon as the fog dissipates, but such a big change has taken place. Is it because of Sa-Imoku itself? No, this sense of crisis is not Sa-Imoku itself. It is indeed transmitted from these fogs. Now these fogs are very special and dangerous. Speaking of which, when Minchi introduced this guy last time, he seemed to have said that Sa-Imoku is a monster in the fog. Is this the reason? Staring at the scattered, thick fog, Kiya didn't attack rashly. Instead, be vigilant and adapt. Kiya didn't know what kind of harm these fogs were, which made him feel such a strong sense of crisis. However, just because Kiya doesn't attack doesn't mean that Sa-Imoku will be like Kiya. At this time, Sa-Imoku had completely lost his mind under the monstrous anger. With a wave of the huge bear's paw, the mist scattered around his body was controlled by him, enveloping towards Kiya. As the dense fog approached, the cells in Kiya's body began to send out alarms every moment. In this regard, Kiya avoided it without hesitation. But, however, the dense fog was too dense. Kiya was completely unavoidable, and in just 5 seconds, Kiya was surrounded by dense fog. ZZZ. At the moment Kiya was surrounded, the dense fog came into contact with Kiya. In the next second, the lightning on Kiya's body changed, making a buzzing sound. The next moment, a spark erupted from the lightning on Kiya's body, and Kiya's pupils shrank suddenly. Boom! There was no time for Kiya to react. Just for a short moment, Kiya was completely enveloped by the flames all over the sky. A violent explosion sounded, and the place where Kiya was turned into a monstrous sea of flames, spreading for 100 meters. The flames burned fiercely and spread to the surroundings. Samoke's huge body stood tall in the fire, ignoring the fire as nothing. Swish! Suddenly, a distressed figure rushed out of the sea and landed not far from the edge. This figure was Kiya. At this time, Kiya had already withdrawn from the super speed state, with severe burns all over his body. His clothes were also in tatters, and his light blue eyes stared uncertainly at Sa-Imoku in the fire. Restrained, a thought flashed in Kiya's mind. Kiya knew very well that her speed was restrained by Sa-Imoku. The dense fog emitted by Samok will be ignited once it encounters thunder and lightning. No, it should be said that it will turn into raging fire when it encounters Nyanki. Cannot be used, as the power of the fire will increase dramatically. The silver ring on the middle finger of the right hand emitted a gentle green light covering Kiya's body and began to heal her own injuries. Kiya stared intently at Sa-Imoku, who was not moving, with a gloomy face. When Kiya was staring at Sa-Imoku also stared at him and looked at Kiya together. Those giant eyes were full of hatred for Kiya. However, at the next moment, Kiya was stunned by the action of Samok. She turned around and walked not far away, without any intention of taking advantage of your illness to kill you. How is this going? Huh? Those special fogs are gone. At this moment, Kiya suddenly noticed that the fog that made him feel dangerous had completely disappeared. Slightly frowning, Kiya looked at the departing Sa-Imoku. At this time, the aura on Sa-Imoku's body weakened a lot. These fogs are trump cards. After using them, their strength will weaken, but this trump card failed to kill me, so this guy chose to leave here. Soon, Kiya thought of the reason for Sa-Imoku's actions, and suddenly his eyes lit up, and his eyes sparkled when he looked at the retreating Samoku. Hee, cunning guy, you want to get out of your body after hurting me like this? Dream. Without these thick fogs, and the strength has been weakened so much, you beast, die here. With a thought, Kia entered the super speed state again. The thunder and lightning on his body bloomed quickly, dancing for joy. One after another of terrifying thunder snakes stretched out long letters, provoking all directions. Everything around them was illuminated, and the terrifying destructive energy became more ferocious. For a moment, Kia is like a god of thunder coming down to earth. With an indifferent expression, Kia stretched out his hand and once again pulled the thunder and lightning in the sky. This time, Kia did his best to directly gather all the thunder energy in the entire sky. I saw that the entire sky was getting lower and lower at this time, and the dense dark clouds seemed to be directly pressed down. The frequency of thunder roaring in the clouds became more and more frequent, and the thunder danced from the dark clouds from time to time. The army is under pressure, ready to go, and the sound of thunder resounds, echoing continuously in the entire sky. Roar! And Seimoku, who was leaving, also sensed the crisis pass down from the sky, and knew that Kia had no intention of stopping the war. His huge body kept trampling on the ground, roaring to the sky, and a powerful aura continued on Seimoku's body. Condensed, the already very fragile earth burst open at this moment. And at the next moment, Seimoku's furious roar stopped abruptly, and then his body rushed towards Kia at a speed that had never appeared before, without any warning at all. I've been on guard against you for a long time, you cunning BD. Facing the sudden impact, Kia was not surprised at all and slashed down towards the ground with one hand. The pillar of thunder that connected heaven and earth also fell from the sky at this moment. No matter how fast Seimoku was, it could not be faster than the thunder, and the thunder just hit the impacting Seimoku head-on. Boom! There was an explosion today, and the entire land was bathed in a blue sea of thunder and lightning. Seimoku's screams continued to roar in the sea of thunder and lightning. Since the last time he knew that Emoku was hiding his speed, Kia knew about Emoku's cunning. He liked to make surprise attacks, and he was always on guard against Emoku when he was fighting with Emoku. Minchi was seriously injured 2 days ago because of this guy's cunning, and he is still lying in hospital. Knowing this situation, how could Kia not be on guard? Your defense has been broken, and you have been hit by such a powerful thunder. No matter how powerful your vitality is, you can't survive. Squinting his eyes, Kia looked at the whiteness in front of him with a smile on his mouth and said silently. However, as soon as Kia finished speaking, Kia's eyes widened suddenly and then quickly closed. The next moment, Kia activated her spatial ability without hesitation and moved herself away from here. In less than a second after Kia left here, a terrifying explosion swept out from the sea of thunder and lightning. And in the blink of an eye, the 1,000-meter radius was completely turned into a huge sea of flames. Chapter 20 Deputy Ability on the outskirts of Shy Mile Wetland. In the Hunter Association's residence, in Kia's room, a figure in a state of embarrassment appeared with white light. I'm going. This Seimoku is really shit. If you disagree with me, you will blow yourself up. It was almost affected. Kia sat down on the ground as soon as he appeared and murmured with a heavy sigh of relief. Just now, after the thunder beam hit Seimoku, without screaming a few times, Seimoku directly gathered the strength of its whole body and blew itself up. This really made Kia a little confused and blew himself up if he didn't agree with each other. Kia never expected that Emoku would be so stupid. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the Warcraft Overlord Emoku and getting 3,125. Worthy of being the Overlord of Warcraft, one has so many enhancement points. It is not at the same level as those coquettish bastards before. In the wetland of Wetmeal before, the highest number of monsters that Kia killed was only a few 110 points, and only one Seimoku gave Kia more than 3,000 points, which is incomparable. It's a world of difference. In the depths of the wetland, apart from Seimoku, there should be other overlords. These are potential strengthening points. After recovery, enter it again to find other powerful monsters. After tasting the sweetness, Kia fixed his eyes on the other Warcraft overlords in the depths of the wetland. Goo! At this moment, a thunderous sound sounded from Kia's abdomen. Kia was taken aback for a moment, and then covered his abdomen. I've been playing for so long just now, I'm a little exhausted, and I'm hungry. Speaking of which, there doesn't seem to be anything to eat here. Do you want to go back to the city? No. It seems that there is something to eat. I haven't eaten the eggs I got from Sam M.O. Ku's lair before. Kia, with a growling stomach, thought of the eggs he got earlier. Kia hasn't touched the 3 eggs since they got them, and they have been lying in the system space. With a slight thought, Kia took out one of them. Well, sure enough, the boiled eggs made by that guy Minchi are delicious. However, that guy's not here now, so I can only boil them casually. Looking at the giant egg in his hand, Kia sighed. Kia couldn't forget the boiled eggs she ate last time, and she still hasn't forgotten the wonderful taste. However, that is the result of Minchi's superb cooking skills and a variety of delicious condiments. As a rookie who doesn't know anything about cooking, Kia naturally couldn't make that kind of food, so he could only settle for the next best thing and cook it casually. Holding the giant egg, Kia walked towards the kitchen in the residence. After finding the huge soup bucket that Minchi used last time and adding a lot of water, Kia directly threw Sa M.O. Ku's eggs into it, covered the lid, and lit the fire directly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for gaining access to subclass abilities and cooking. And at the moment you put the lid on, the ethereal voice of the system sounded in Kia's mind, and Kia was stunned for a moment. What the hell? Deputy ability? Cooking? Kia couldn't help but cast his gaze on the attribute panel. Name: Kia's Zoldyck ability. None. Conjurer Nun Speed Thunder, 5,000. Trait Nun Space, 5,000. Manipulator Nun Ring of Angels, 1,000. Note: the strengthening points required for the next strengthening are in brackets. Subclass ability: Cooking Rookie, 50. Strengthening points, 3427 item. Aluminum alloy yo-yo. What's going on here? System: come out and explain. Deputy ability, that is, an ability that is closely related to life, will be activated as long as the host touches related things. The host's action just now is the first cooking since the system was activated, so the host has obtained the cooking ability. Of course, this ability, it is still at the rookie level. Please continue to work hard on the host. The host can also use strengthening points to strengthen the host's living ability. Friendly reminder: because it is a subclass ability, the enhancement points required for enhancement are different from the host's main ability, and the required enhancement points are extremely small. So that's the case. Is that so? That is to say, as long as I contact or learn, then these living abilities will be activated. Moreover, these living abilities can also be strengthened, and there are not many strengthening points required. System: how many enhancement points do I need to enhance my cooking ability to the top level? Kia asked the system. Host: subclass ability is bounded by the host's current world. The host's current world and cooking culture are not prosperous. It can only strengthen 3 levels, namely primary cooking, intermediate cooking, and high-level cooking, the food that the host encounters. The cooking level of Hunter Minchi is in the stage of high-level cooking, and they need 50, 100, 200 respectively, and a total of 350 enhancement points. I'll go, it's really rare. Hearing the system's answer, Kia swears directly. Although somewhat expected, Kia really didn't expect that there are so few enhancement points needed to enhance the ability of a deputy. It only takes 350 points to upgrade from cooking novice to high-end cooking. That is, Minchi, a chef who can make that kind of wonderful cooking. System: strengthen my cooking ability to a high level. It's just such a small enhancement point. Kia can afford it completely, and there is no need to think about it at all. Ding! Use 350 enhancement points to strengthen the subclass ability cooking. Congratulations to the host for obtaining advanced cooking ability. Friendly reminder: if the host wants to continue to strengthen, he must reach a world where the cooking culture is prosperous to continue strengthening. Although Kia heard the system's prompt, she had no time to pay attention to it. At this time, a lot of information flooded into Kia's mind, which was all kinds of knowledge and information related to cooking. At the same time, Kia's body also changed, and a series of physical memories poured into Kia's mind, perfectly fused with Kia and became Kia's instinct. In just 5 seconds, Kia changed from a culinary novice has become a gourmet with advanced cooking skills. Slowly opened his eyes. A ray of light shot out from Kia's eyes. Kia's expression was slightly dazed. The cuisine is really profound. After a few seconds, Kia sighed silently and said with emotion. After receiving all the information, Kia is very clear about how strong his cooking ability is at this time. If Kia's current cooking ability was placed in her previous life, she would be invincible. Even the chefs of those 5-star hotels would not be able to compare with Kia. Immediately, Kia set his sights on the Soup Bucket Chapter 21, The Breath of the Archangel Ding. Congratulations to the host for absorbing special ingredients and getting 226 enhancement points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for absorbing special ingredients and getting 260 enhancement points. There are no such delicious seasonings, so the taste is much worse, but it is already very good. Cooking 2 eggs of samo ku in a row, Kia ate it up, and the first dish he cooked in his life was swept away. As if wiped out, he stroked his chin and concluded, "It's hard for a clever woman to be without rice reminders." The last cooking was because Minchi added a lot of seasonings, so the cooking will have that effect. As for this time, there were not many precious condiments in the kitchen, just some ordinary condiments, so the cooked eggs were not as delicious as last time, but they were not much different. At least it could be compared with the delicious food in those 5-star hotels when Kia was carrying out the assassination mission. As for the last one, Kia didn't cook it together. The last one was left by Kia to Min Chi, who was still unconscious. Although this guy is very tricky, but after all, he went together, Kia will not eat alone. After Min Chi wakes up, Kia will give her the last egg of Sa Mo Ko. Immediately, Kia turned his attention to the attribute panel. 3563 reinforcement points. I used 350 enhancement points to strengthen my cooking ability, and then I ate 2 eggs of Sa Mo Ko to replenish 486 points. Kia's current enhancement points are 3,563 points. More than 3,000 strengthening points for the current Kia can only be used on the Angel Ring of Manipulator Nun that has just been opened. As for Conjurer's super speed and trait type space ability, these 2 abilities need 5,000 points to be strengthened each time. Kia's enhancement points are not enough. In addition, these points you can also be used to open the Noonan system. Strengthen the Ring of Angels. Kia already has a direction to use these strengthening points. Kia is going to strengthen the healing ability of the Angel Ring first, and then the rest is used to activate the Enhancer system. The difference in physique made Kia's fight with Sa Mo Ku just now full of aggrievedness, and Kia had already made a decision just now. Never let yourself be bombarded by the enemy again and again in the next battle due to lack of physical strength. That feeling Kia has had enough. There are 6 Nun systems, each of which has its own characteristics. The developed Nun can all be used in combat. Even if it is an auxiliary ability, its mind energy can also be used in combat, offense, and defense. However, the one that is most suitable for combat is indeed the Enhancer. The Enhancer is the system with the most combat effectiveness among the 6 major systems, and it is the most suitable for combat. The Nien Ki of the Enhancer can double the destructive power of the user and unleash the most powerful destructive power of the 6 series. Of course, except for special cases like Kia, the destructive power of Kia's Thunder is not weaker than that of Enhancer. However, in terms of strength and defense, Kia's Conjurer, traits, and Manipulator are not as good as Enhancer. If Kia had Enhancer Nun, the previous battle would not have been so embarrassing. Even if the attack could hurt Sa Mo Ku, he was still slapped by Sa Mo Ku like a football, so aggrieved. Ding! Use 1,000 strengthening points to strengthen the Ring of the Angel. Congratulations to the host for getting the breath of the Archangel. As soon as Kia's voice fell, the voice of the system sounded in his mind. I'm going. The breath of the Archangel. The one from the Island of Greed? Kia suddenly widened his eyes when he heard the prompt from the system and yelled out in disbelief. Yes, host, the strengthened Angel Ring can exert the healing power of the Archangel's breath, As long as the host has enough energy, it can be used indefinitely. The system quickly replied. After being confirmed, Kia's heart suddenly thumped. The breath of the Archangel. Although this ability cannot revive the dead, it can be done with flesh and bones. It is very abnormal. In the original book, Jay Freaks was blown off by a pinch of gunpowder while fighting the bomb Aganshu, and the palm disappeared completely, leaving only the arm. But after using the breath of the Archangel, his palm fully recovered within a few seconds. It can be said that he can truly achieve the ability to regenerate flesh and blood. And more than that, as long as it is not death, no matter what kind of injury you receive, you can use the breath of the Archangel to save it. Of course, if the damage was caused by the oath and the ability to restrict this abnormal rule, the breath of the Archangel would not be able to heal it. That kind of thing can only be lifted by the necromancer, and the deeper vows and constraints, like the forced growth used by that brat Jay Freaks, even the necromancer avoids it. Only Nanika, the existence of super abnormalities, can be eliminated. To say too much, although the breath of the Archangel can't reach this level, but for Kia, it is completely a life-saving talisman. From now on, no matter how seriously Kia is injured, as long as she doesn't die immediately and her Nyan Ki is not exhausted, using the breath of this Archangel can hang her life. And as long as Kia is not killed by the enemy, Kia can use the breath of the Archangel to save his life instantly, and then use the special space ability to escape instantly. The cooperation of the two abilities is exactly one more life. No, it is countless lives. Gaining the ability of the Archangel's breathing, Kia's heart was surging. He was so excited that he couldn't calm down at all. It took more than 10 minutes for Kia to recover from this excitement. Looking at the silver ring in his hand, Kia became more and more satisfied. Immediately, Kia set his sights on the remaining strengthening points. The Ring of Angels has been strengthened, and the number of reinforcement points required for the next reinforcement has become more. Kia's Conjurer is the same as the ability of the Trade Department, both of which are 5,000 points. The remaining strengthening points are 2,563 points, which is not enough to support the next strengthening of these three abilities. No, it should be said that it is not enough for the next enhancement. After all, it needs 5,000 points. Kia hasn't collected all 5,000 reinforcement points so far and used them all directly. System, use 1,000 enhancement points to awaken the enhancer and strengthen the rest directly. To understanding. Ding! Congratulations to the host for awakening the enhancer system with 1,000 enhancement points. And congratulations to the host for obtaining the Enhancer Nun. Congratulations to the host for using 100 enhancement points to enhance Enhancer Nun. Congratulations to the host for using 200 enhancement points to enhance Enhancer Nun. Congratulations to the host for using 500 enhancement points to enhance Enhancer Nun. Congratulations to the host for using 1,000 enhancement points to strengthen Enhancer Nun. Chapter 22 Kikyo's Desire to Control Name. Ki is Zoldyck Ability. Nun. Conjurer Nun Speed Thunder, 5,000. Trait Nun Space, 5,000. Manipulator Nun Ring of Angel Archangel's Breath, 5,000. Enhancer Nun, 5,000. Strengthen Points. Deputy Ability. Cuisine. Advanced Cuisine, 500. Note. In brackets are the enhancement points required for the next enhancement. Strengthening Points, 627 item. Aluminum Alloy Yo-Yo Enhancer Nun can be said to have no moves, and it is also the most simple and straightforward of the 6 series, directly cultivating the destructive power and defensive power of Nyan Ki. Along with cultivating the physical body, the physique of Nun of Enhancer is basically stronger than that of none of other systems. Not to mention the destructive power and defensive power. The defense power is not mentioned. The mind energy defense of each system is the same. The difference is that the mind energy characteristics are different, and the defense power that can be played is also different. The Nyan Ki defense, cultivated by Enhancer Nun, is the strongest among the 6 systems. As for destructive power, that is moves, the destructive power of the Enhancer is to gather the thoughts and energy together and hit the strongest blow that you can hit. In the original book, Yuvijin's Super Destructive Punch, Jay Freak's Guessing Punch, and Nobunaga Hazumazai all gather the energy of the mind and then hit the most destructive blow. The difference is that the former two use fists, while the latter only gathers energy on the weapon. The awakening of the enhancer changed Kiya's thoughts again, and Kiya clearly felt it. At the same time, the amount of Nyan Ki in Kiya's body increased a lot again, almost 1/3. As for the change of Nyan Ki, Kiya's Nyan Ki before was very gentle. However, after awakening the enhancer, the Nyan Ki in Kiya's body became extremely aggressive. Not the aggressiveness transformed into thunder, but it is the thought energy itself that has a strong aggressiveness. Stretching out his hand, blue Nyan Ki emerged in Kiya's hand, and the powerful aggressiveness of Nyan Ki instantly appeared in Kiya's perception. Kiya remained silent for a while, then left the room and came to the courtyard. As soon as he appeared in the courtyard, Kiya punched the ground directly. Boom! Under Kiya's attack, the ground instantly cracked open, spreading around like a spider's web. Boom! Accompanied by a loud noise, the ground split open. A radius of 100 meters collapsed, and the entire station was destroyed and turned into ruins. Kiya, the resident is gone. This place is the territory of the Hunter Association. Am I provoking the Hunter Association? No, just run away. Looking at the situation in the yard, Kiya was stunned, embarrassed, and then shifted to another space, directly running away. It's not a joke if it is discovered. Destroying the place of the Hunter Association like this, if it is discovered, it will definitely be regarded as a provocation, and it will be regarded as directly offending the Hunter Association. In the city of Valero, in a star hotel, in a luxurious room, Kiya's figure appeared out of thin air accompanied by white light. This is the hotel where Kiya stayed in the city. After returning to the hotel, Kiya went directly into the bathroom and began to wash up. This time, Kiya came back from the depths of the wetland, and it could be said that Kiya was in a mess, feeling extremely uncomfortable. Half an hour later, the sound slowly disappeared, and Kiya came out of the bathroom wearing a small bathrobe. Few refreshed. After coming out, Kiya felt extremely comfortable all over and couldn't help shouting out. Taking a bottle of drink from the refrigerator, Kiya opened it directly, drank it in a big gulp, and then a soft and cute smile appeared on his face, as if it had melted. However, the next moment, Kiya seemed to have noticed his current situation, and his face immediately recovered. No. Although my body is a child, I'm not really a child, so I can't show such an inappropriate expression, Kiya admonished himself. Phew, I'm so tired. I'll rest for 2 hours first, and then go to the hospital to see Minchi. After stretching her body, Kiya threw herself into the big soft bed and kept rubbing against the soft bed. The expression on her face soft again. The next moment, Kiya found out that something was wrong with her again. She was slightly embarrassed, and then her face became serious again. The Nyan Ki is consumed too much. Let's go back after the Nyan Ki is fully recovered. In the last blow before, Kiya used not only the thunder in the sky, Kiya used all the Nyan Ki in his 9 layers up. That's why it has that kind of power, otherwise it really can't kill a monster like Saimoku. However, if this is the case, it was only done after Saimoku was broken through the defense by himself. Saimoku's physique is so strong, if he didn't break through the defense, open a hole in his body, and then use the power of thunder to destroy from the inside, he really couldn't kill him. Oh no, he couldn't force it to explode. Now there are only 2 layers of Nyan Ki in Kiya's body. With so little Nyan Ki, you can't kill many monsters if you go there. So let's go back after the Nyan Ki recovers. However, I have the cured nun now, and after the Nun Ki recovers, let's recover Minchi's injury by the way. With this thought in mind, Kiya gradually fell into a deep sleep. At the same time, on a certain airship bound for Valero, the figure of Kikyo Zoldyck dressed as a lady appeared here. The electronic eye on the face is constantly flashing at this time, showing the impatience of its owner at this time. Kiya, you're the future head of the Zoldyck family. Friends are not what you should have. You should be more mature, and you can't contact those vixens outside. The electronic eyes kept flickering, and Kikyo kept murmuring, talking to himself. His strong desire to control, he can be heard in his self-talk. Chapter 23. Some can't hold Kia. Ah, it's so late. In the middle of the night, Kia woke up from a deep sleep, looking at the night scene outside the window, slightly surprised. Kia didn't expect that she would sleep for so long, from 4 o'clock to now. Yawning lightly, Kia got up and walked towards the bathroom. Just after waking up, Kia was about to wash her face. However, before Kia walked into the bathroom, Kia's cell phone on the bedside table did ring. Kia was slightly surprised, then walked back. Linen tone. Looking at the caller ID, Kia murmured softly, "Why is she calling me? What happened?" Thinking of this, Kia connected the phone. "It's no good. Master Kia. Master Kikyo is here, and now he is going to kill the patient you order me to take care of." As soon as the phone was connected, the panicked voice of Yamain came from the other side. At the same time, there was another voice. "Yamain, get out of the way. I'll just say it once. Since you are the granddaughter of Zi Pinyin, I forgive you for your rudeness. Why is Mom here?" Hearing this voice, Kia was taken aback for a moment, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. The next moment, Kia activated the space ability without hesitation to teleport to the hospital. As a linen tone said just now, Kikyo is going to kill Menchi. Although Kikyo's personality is very perverted, he has always been consistent and vigorous. Say just once, and say just once. Kia doesn't believe that the linen tone can stop Kikyo. 1 second too late, Menchi and Yamain might be dead at Kikyo's hands. In the hospital, Yamain stood in front of the hospital bed, looking at Kikyo vigilantly. And Kikyo, after speaking, walked towards the hospital bed. The pair of electronic eyes kept flickering, showing the anger in the owner's heart at this moment. "Just right there, Mom. Don't take a step closer." The appearance of a voice made Kikyo stop. Kia's figure appeared in front of Yamain and Kikyo with white light. "Oh, Kia, I finally see you." Seeing Kia's appearance, Kikyo was suddenly excited. His voice trembled, and he stretched out his hand tremblingly towards Kia. I seem to have completely forgotten about Menchi seeing this scene. The corners of Kia's mouth twitched. Kikyo is really good to himself, very good, to the point of doting, but he has a weird personality. Obviously, I just met before I came out a few days ago, but she looks like she hasn't seen her for more than 10 or even decades. However, speaking of it, in the original work, the Zoldyck family, except for Silva and Gino, everyone else is controlled. My own life is no exception, and it seems to have gotten worse. "Yamain, leave this to me. You go out first," Kia ordered to Yamain behind him. "Yes, Master Kia." After Kia appeared, Yamain also heaved a sigh of relief. She had summoned up the courage to stand in front of Kikyo just now. However, as soon as Kikyo spoke, she flinched. Fortunately, Kia came over. Otherwise, she really didn't know what to do. Now that Kia gave such an order, Yamain suddenly felt relieved of all the burdens. After answering, Yamain saluted Kikyo and walked out. "Hey, Mom, what are you doing here?" Seeing Kikyo touching her face continuously, Kia didn't resist and said, "Ah, Kia, my Kia has grown up a bit, and her temperament has become more mature." Facing Kia's question, Kikyo seemed to have not heard at all and was still stroking Kia's cheek, excited talking. "Kia, head full of black lines. It's just that I haven't seen you for a few days. So where are the changes you mentioned?" Gently patted Kikyo's face. Kia woke up Kikyo from all kinds of excitement. "Kia, let's go. Go home with Mom." Kikyo, who returned to his senses, grabbed Kia's hand and said to Kia with a smile, "Mommy totally forgot about killing Menchi. However, that's okay." Kia thought silently. However, the sky is not beautiful. As soon as he took Kia's hand, Kikyo thought of something and looked at Kia seriously. "Kia, listen to your mother. Don't get in touch with this kind of vixen in the future." Kikyo's face became gentle within 2 seconds of seriousness, and he gently instructed Kia. After speaking, Kikyo let go of Kia's hand and walked towards the hospital bed. However, how could Kia, who saw what Kikyo was thinking, let Kikyo succeed? He just grabbed Kikyo's hand and prevented Kikyo from passing. Kikyo was startled and looked at Kia in surprise. "Mom, don't mind my affairs." Kia frowned with a slightly angry tone and snapped at Kikyo. Kia, Kia actually spoke to me in such a harsh tone, and she has matured a lot. Kikyo is indeed a pervert. Hearing his son speak to him in such a tone, not only did he not get angry, but instead it is extremely exciting and joyful. This reaction made the corners of Kia's eyes twitch. Ah, Mom's character, I really can't hold it. Kia's face remained unchanged, but he sighed inwardly. Mom, I will grow up according to my own way of life, and I will definitely become a qualified patriarch. So I will never allow you to intervene in my affairs, even if you are the same. Sighed slightly. Kia's face turned cold. His eyes radiated a cold light, and he said indifferently, just as he finished speaking, an indescribable, terrifying aura instantly enveloped Kikyo. Surrounded by Kia's aura, Kikyo trembled all over, then covered his lips with his hands and looked at Kia in surprise. I am very excited about Kia's attitude towards me at this time. Even with electronic eyes, I can still see Kikyo's happiness and joy from the flickering screen. Kia, have you grown to this point? Mom knows. Mom won't interfere with your life in the future, but correspondingly, Kia, you have to promise me to become a qualified and perfect head of the family. Kikyo said ecstatically. If Silva knew, Kikyo, who had high hopes for him and hoped to teach Kia a lesson, was so easily moved by Kia's words and gave up on Minshi with an expression of not knowing what it would be like. Well, I promise you, Mom. Kia was slightly surprised, but she didn't expect Kikyo to be so easy to talk, and then she smiled and said with a smile, Mom, since you're here, let me go out with you for a walk. Chapter 24 Treatment. I'm so tired. After sending Kikyo away and returning to the hotel, Kia casually threw a lot of bags on the bed and then looked hopeless. After shopping with Kikyo for more than an hour, I finally sent Kikyo away. Speaking of which, in past and present lives, Kia is the first time to go shopping with someone. Regardless of physical strength or not, it is really tiring to go shopping with a woman. Even Kia is the same. After a few hours, I feel that the bones in my whole body are about to fall apart. It's too bad. Let's go and treat Minchi tomorrow. Although Kia just fell asleep before, but now he feels a strong sleepiness constantly disturbing his heart, making Kia faint drowsy. Kia didn't resist the strong drowsiness. She just fell on the bed and fell asleep within a few seconds. The next morning, Kia woke up early. When I woke up, the soreness all over my body disappeared, and I felt refreshed all over my body. Twisting his arms, Kia threw the messy bags on the bed into the system space, and then walked into the bathroom. After washing up, Kia left the room and rushed towards the hospital. Young Master Kia, Yamain took care of Minchi very diligently, and when he saw Kia coming, he immediately got up and greeted him. Morning, Yamian. Kia greeted Yamian with a smile. After saying hello, Kia looked at the hospital bed and Minchi, who hadn't woken up. Although he is not yet awake, it could be seen from Minchi's even breathing that Minchi's injury has stabilized. However, it will take a long time to wake up and fully recover. After a moment of silence, Kia stretched out her hand and placed it on Minchi's white forehead. Archangel's breath. As Kia murmured softly, a white light appeared behind Kia, and a blonde woman with a sacred aura appeared behind Kia. After the blonde woman appeared, she blew a gentle breath towards Minchi in front of Kia. This breath fell on Minchi's body and turned into a white light covering Minchi. I saw Minchi's whole body wrapped in luminous light, and then I saw Minchi's brow move slightly, and the next moment, Minchi's eyes opened. Here, Minchi, who opened his eyes, muttered blankly. This is Heal None. Isn't Master Kia a conjurer? He's also an electric attribute. How could he suddenly have such a powerful healing ability? Yamain looked at this scene in shock, and his heart was full of shock. My young master's conjurer has already developed the attribute ability of electricity. If he wants to develop a healing ability based on this, the difficulty is almost as high as the sky. After all, once the conjurer's mind changes, it is almost fixed. It is very difficult to change other things, not to mention such a powerful healing ability, which can completely restore people in an instant. Moreover, Master Kia has this ability, so why did he bring this woman to the hospital for treatment? Master Kia can use this ability to heal this woman. Unless Yamain suddenly thought of a possibility, and his heart speeded up in disappointment. Unless this ability was just developed by Master Kia. It's so powerful just after it was developed. This Master Kia, what a terrifying talent. Lin and Tone was beyond shock. Kia naturally didn't know Lin Yin's inner thoughts. You'd be surprised if you knew. A woman's brain power is really strong, and she can make a good guess just by looking at it. Guess that Kia's treatment none has just been developed. However, Kia doesn't know Lin Yin's inner thoughts. At this moment, Kia had withdrawn her hand, and the archangel behind her also disappeared. Have you recovered? Seeing Minchi's dazed look, Kia asked calmly. Kia's voice made Minchi tremble slightly, and those dazed eyes also focused, and the light in the eyes quickly recovered. Minchi sat up in the hospital bed all of a sudden, panting heavily in shock. Seeing her appearance, Kia knew without guessing that Minchi had recalled the situation a few days ago. As soon as he recovered, he remembered what happened before the coma. I have to say that Minchi's mind is really good. Kia looked at Minchi quietly, but didn't speak. After more than a minute, Minchi also completely calmed down. Turning his head and looking at Kia, Minchi's expression was slightly complicated, and then his pink lips parted slightly. Thank you, little Kia. To thank Kia, Minchi habitually wanted to call Kia a boy, but when the words came to his lips, Minchi changed his words and spoke softly. This time it was really dangerous, and what happened in the depths of the wetlands taught Minchi a very important life lesson. Let Minchi realize his own shortcomings, and he is too easy to relax. I will never make such a mistake in the future. You're welcome. This time I'm also responsible. I should save you. Kia shook his head and said flatly. If he hadn't cheated Minchi himself, he wouldn't have brought back Imoku, causing him to be seriously injured by a sneak attack. Now that you have recovered, let's stop our cooperation here. See you soon, Kia said with a light smile, and then reached out to take out the last Imoku egg in the system space. This is your share, keep it. Putting Imoku's egg on Minchi's hands, Kia said lightly. Yamain, let's go. After speaking, Kia shouted to Yamain, and after shouting, Kia walked towards the door. Yes, Master Kia. Hearing this, Yamain immediately responded, walking behind Kia in 2 steps. Wait, Kia. Seeing that Kia was about to leave, Minchi was taken aback for a moment and opened his mouth to stop Kia. What's wrong? Kia turned around and asked in confusion. No. Minchi was also stunned, seemed to think of something, fell silent, and then whispered. She stopped Kia just now. It was purely a conditioned reflex. She wanted to keep Kia, to keep this cooperative relationship. However, she didn't react until she called out. I don't seem to have the qualifications to retain this partnership at all, because in this cooperation, my performance is completely a burden, let alone an experienced hunter. If it weren't for Kia, I would have died this time because of my own mistakes. Well, I'll see you by fate. Kia was also slightly taken aback, then said with a smile. Minchi, I hope you will be more mature next time. Maybe we will have a chance to cooperate again at that time. Kia also saw it and comforted him. Well, I will. I look forward to working together again. Next time, I will not let you down. Minchi was slightly taken aback when he heard this, and then with a bright smile on his face, he assured Kia. Well, that's it. Chapter 25. The Linen Voice of the Monster. Yamain. Since Minchi has recovered, you should leave here too and go back to Kukla Mountain. In a luxury black car, Kia ordered to Yamain, who was driving. Hearing this, Yamain, who was driving, was slightly taken aback and didn't respond to Kia immediately, with a hesitant expression on his face. What's the matter? Linen tone? Kia naturally noticed the look on the linen tone and couldn't help asking in doubt. Master Kia, can I follow you and obey your orders? Hearing Kia's question, Yamain was startled and fell silent for a moment, then seemed to muster up his courage, looked sideways, and looked through the central rearview mirror. He looked at Kia and said, Huh. Yamain's words also made Kia stunned, unable to react for a while. Can't you? Seeing that Kia didn't respond, Yamain's face darkened suddenly, feeling a little disappointed. No, it's just that I can't react for a while. I invited you to be my housekeeper for foreign affairs several times before, but you didn't agree. I didn't expect you to volunteer this time. Kia shook his head slightly and said a little funny. Hearing this, Yamain didn't speak, but silently looked at the central rearview mirror, looked at Kia expectantly, and waited for Kia's reply. Although it is a master-servant relationship, and there is a slight age gap, the two can be said to be childhood sweethearts and have a deep relationship. This time, he was transferred by Kia to take care of Menchi. Yamain was very happy, but after coming here and knowing the purpose of being transferred, Yamain felt very uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with Kia's attitude towards Menchi. Kia actually transferred herself here just for a woman. Moreover,
no more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.